Check 1 2 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, welcome or welcome back. Hello, look at my hand here. I am your most illustrative host, Michael D. Nicola. This is my live stream where I do like this. You see how this is transpiring very quickly before your eyes. I do this, but in real time, and you get to watch either enjoyably or not. I like to kick off every stream before I start the actual drawing by thanking each and every one of my patrons, my YouTube subscribers, my Twitch subscribers, my Discord friends, everywhere. Everywhere you show support, follow me, and just are generally awesome and a member of my community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are incredible. During the stream, I'm going to be breaking down some of my process, my thought process, my actual physical craftsmanship process, and let's start this Tuesday off right. I did a quick video of this in, you know, the shorts, your YouTube shorts, your TikToks, your what is it, Instagram Reels. I uploaded this very same video but in like 15 seconds, basically showing how I did this. And one thing that I wish I could do a little bit better in those videos is do a little bit of a deeper dive as to some of what I was thinking when I made these decisions, how many of the decisions made in this illustrative piece were, for lack of a better term, on autopilot versus how many were conscious. For example, this particular face, this is how I draw faces. So one of the common quote-unquote problems that you see with illustrations is, or illustrators, maybe perhaps stylized illustrators, it's called what's the phrase that was coined? Same face syndrome. So same face syndrome being hey, hello Diggs, welcome new friend or old time friend. I don't know how you found this stream. Hello. This is the last illustration I did. I've got 3 more I need to finish. At least you could draw a face. What's up, Yak? What's up, Yak Attack? My god, it's hot here. The one I finished before this one, actually I got to move this down. I'm like moving them down as I finish them. So I've got one. I've got to finish this one. I don't have it. Ooh, you know what? Actually, I like this a lot more than I did. Oh man. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think I need to fix. I think there's a. Ooh, I don't know. I think I need to fix something on her face. There. I sketched this and I hated it. There's some stuff I want to tweak now that I see it. Yeah, I like this one. She's got a bit of a man face, but I could fix that easily enough. All right. Oh, and then there's a poison ivy that I still need to finish coloring. She's giving a little Lana Del Rey here, if I'm being honest, although that was not my intention. I did not use I generally show you guys the references that I use, which are, well, here, I'll show you here. I usually show you everything that I've got on my desk. So I got Discord open. Here are the references. As you can see, it's just Pinterest and the stream. What you guys see before you, yourselves. Oh, the endless, and some music for me, music for you, and then my messy desk with all my notes. So yes, I don't. If I use like strict reference, if I find like a photo reference specifically that I'm going to use, I do try to tell you guys, let you know what's up. Like for example, for this one I had a somewhat of a reference, if you watch my TikTok or YouTube shorts or any of that stuff, I actually, in like the 15-second video, I showed the reference that I found, and it was quite. I took the picture myself. It was very silly. How are you guys? Are you guys drawing faces today as well? I just had an idea. Oh, right. I've got this guy I've got to finish. You know, one of these days I'll be better with finishing a drawing. You know what it is, man? I get these ideas. I get these ideas and I want to just sketch them. So the name of the game today is so often when I'm streaming, I kind of lose myself in the fun of streaming rather than getting work done. Are you guys streamers? This has been a problem I've struggled with since I first started streaming. Since I very first started streaming. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great because I'll be streaming for 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes even 5 hours straight. Which, you know, listen, there are streamers who stream for 14 hours. It's nothing to write home about. But what I do say is, I might have been illustrating that entire time. All right, you know, God damn it, the air conditioner's coming on. It's fucking hot. Apologies if the air conditioner is a little loud. So yes. I'll put my pencil down. I'll sign off stream. I'll say goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Sign off stream. Put pencil down. And then sure enough, I will have completed like no real art. Like the artwork I would have done was complete crapo. Complete garb. Real yuck. Okay, let's see. Right now I'm trying to do the contrapposto and the through line. I'll give you a little breakdown. Let me tilt her a little bit. So her head is tilted this way, which means her shoulders are tilted that way, because when you generally, when you want your shoulder to touch your head, you tilt your head to that side. And when you do that, when you pinch this area, it means you're pinching this area. So once you bring your shoulders up, that generally means your hip goes up to meet that. Aren't human bodies fun? Let's see, I've talked about this step of my process before ad nauseum, in case you're curious. I call it the, for lack of a better term, it's, some people do gestural stuff first, some people do contour stuff first to figure out the volume. For me, this is a combination of the two of them. For me, this is me doing both at the same time. So I call it sculpting. I consider this, in my head, I consider this basically the same way you'd use clay. Where I'm just figuring it all out, figuring out the proportions, figuring out the line weights, the movements. I'm getting it all right. I'm getting it all in my head first. Bale says, Bale, why you know in voice chat, baby? Bale says, having to talk in chat, do the usual streamer commentary on your process, and talk to whomever is on voice chat, and draw at the same time is no small task. It is, thank you, Bale. It is a juggling, a keeping the plates spinning kind of a deal. But that's, you know, listen, that's kind of what I sign on for. And man, I will say this. Some of the artists I know that get a lot of work done. They focus on their art solely. Like Crease, for example. Crease is an incredible comic book artist, and his jam is all it's work first, baby. It's work first. Which, dude, when you've got work that needs doing, because guess what? When you're working comic books, there's hard deadlines that need met. Yeah, I get it. Hey Pink, what's up? Hey Pink, do you see Pink? Have you seen that gals are wearing big baggy pants and little crop tops? It's like the 90s all over again. Like they're big. They're not like Jenko jean size big, but like they're that big. It's like it's straight out of like 1999 fashion. It's wild. I saw a gal on one of my For You pages, either on TikTok or Instagram, and my mouth was agape. I felt like I was looking through like a time portal. This girl had a crop top on. She had like baggy, chunky cargo like pants on, and to top it off, she had the full, not the whale tail, but the front whale tail. You know where the thong straps are, you know, the undie straps can be seen. It was wild. I was shooketh. Your boy was shooketh. So yes. I don't know what's going on out there. I don't know who's poisoned the children's mind with this horrible fashion sense. That should have stayed dead. Should have stayed dead ages ago. Hey, Eric Weathers. Eric Weathers, there's no Canetti here today, friend. It's just little old me doodling. How goes the comic book art? How goes the social media-ing? Hey, Eric, man, as a professional illustrator, how do you feel about the kind of rat race that we're a part of? And listen, so just about everybody on here is a content creator, more or less, for the most part, if you're doing something professionally, and you haven't broken into the industry yet, or you don't have a, you know, established name for yourself yet. Like, if you are that person, if you're a professional, you've been working in the industry for a long time, you don't need this social media crap. You could just kind of, you could do the thing, but it's at your leisure, I'd say. it only really matters if you want to kind of branch out on your own and build your own brand and do that thing. But if you're like a hired gun and you're working in, you know, if you're working at a video game studio or even in comic books, you're good. Although, to be honest, the new illustrators, the new breed of illustrators do all have their own vast social media presence. But just general speaking, right? For the most part, not needed for the seasoned pros. For example, you know, Bruce Timm didn't need a fucking giant social media platform. Paul Dini didn't need to do TikTok, you know, dancing TikTok trend videos. And that kind of goes across the board, right? Yeah, I think building an audience is key if you want to go on your own with your own. Exactly. That's where it really factors in. Because it's how many people you can get on board to, you know, for your comic book, for whatever it might be. Paul Dini didn't need it, but we'd all love to see it. Sure. But I guess my point is, yeah, if you're a seasoned pro, you're pretty much good in regards to being able to find work and not having to sweat this stuff. But if you're an indie creator, a freelancer, or God forbid you're trying to launch your own creator-owned book, you've got to do it. It's not even a it's not up for debate. It's a why haven't you already started doing it? It's you know, what are you, stupid? You're gonna try to do what now without having a giant social media platform? Yeah, it's pretty wild. So I guess, Eric, what my question, my giant roundabout way of asking you this is how do you feel when it comes to balancing your creating versus your content creation, right? Because I think there's a strong difference between just creating art versus being a content creator. I think those two can overlap. They can overlap, but I hold a distinct difference in my mind between the two. And I know when it comes to my work specifically, I definitely know or have some idea that a thing that I'm doing is this one's going to be a reel, this one's going to be a longer form YouTube video, this one might be this might even work as a tutorial one day, yada yada yada. That's the biggest struggle I've had. Well, the thing is, man, and the other thing is, you've got to keep making content. So if you want to have any kind of relevancy on any of these social media platforms, if you want to get eyeballs on your stuff, even if it's not just, even if your goal isn't just numbers, but you actually want people to either study some of your stuff or buy some of your comic or whatever it may be, you still have to play the game. You have to get the eyeballs on your work, so enough people are like, oh hey, what are you working on here? It's like, oh well, hey, let me teach you this, or let me show you this, or let me share my opinion on this, and then you hit them with the, oh, and if you like this, if you basically, hey, if you've liked this free content, well, guess what I've got some of. I've got some I got some other content that you might want to pay for if you like this stuff. And then the ratio for that is about 1%, 1% to 10%, depending on what it is and depending on where you're going. But generally, that's the 10% if you're a fucking champ. 1% if you're pleb like the rest of us. Johnny Amore. Johnny Moore says, Deceiver! For instance, I could and have plans to do more comic lettering content. At the same time, I could spend the same amount of energy into drawing, painting, streams, whatever. Yeah, yeah. John, is that something... John, how much do you stress and or worry about being a content creator? And I'm talking about for social media platforms, that kind of thing. Like, obviously, John, I know you're working hard on your Urban Animal webtoon. So that's your primary focus, as well as other gigs, your freelance gigs and your commissions. I've chilled out on it for whatever reason. I'm somewhere I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm in the middle between freaking the fuck out about content creation all the time, because, listen, I don't want ulcers. Yeah, I fluctuate between, like, oh shit, I gotta make, between that and what shall we call it? Just creating when at my pace. Yeah, what about you, man?
What's up, you greasy sex pig?
What's up, cutie bear?
Would you say that you'd rather create than stress about creating?
Hang on, let me make you a little bit louder. You stay as you are. And all right, here, repeat that for me one more time, please.
Would you say that you'd rather just create instead of stressing over creating and being like, hey, I gotta produce, there's this algorithm, there's like one post today, one reel, like,
right.
I have it written down somewhere. I had actually listened to, there was this girl that quote unquote exposed the algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm is basically a rule of thumb for the algorithm. You want, for Instagram specifically,
Okay,
yeah, break it down.
One post a day, like actual post. 2 stories per day, and at least 1 video/reel a week. That's your minimum.
Right. And I've come to learn, just through personal trial now that I've started tackling the YouTube monster again. Through personal trial and error, I've discovered, Bale, that YouTube, I believe, this is anecdotally, YouTube has fallen in the same track as YouTube. Instagram's copied YouTube in that I believe they've split their algorithm in 2. And by that I mean, if you're posting reels, you have reels viewers, and if you're posting regular posts, yep. All right, yeah, you guys know where I'm going with this. Break
someone
down.
also complained, I don't remember where was it, where Instagram's algorithm in general is like heavily skewed towards videos. So if you want to just grow, you'd have a better shot at just making videos or reels, I think they're called on the IG, rather than just posting.
Yes, however,
the fucking thing was made to do.
Well, yeah, listen, man, it's the way of the world. Adapt or die, right? They don't want to end up like MySpace, or Facebook for that matter. But I got, listen, I got news for Instagram. They're already Facebook. They're already MySpace. The newer generation, they're all on Snapchat, TikTok. They're on that app, Be Real. I don't know if you've heard of that one. That one's just a cutesy poo one for the youngins. My point being, Bale, that is true. That is true. If you want more viewers and if you want more followers, it's better to post reels. Some of my reels have gotten upwards of 50,000 views. However, I haven't broke 1,000 viewers yet. And Bale, when I post a non-reel, if I make a regular ass post,
yeah,
I get maybe like 30 likes on it. If I post a reel, I might get a few hundred or more. It's really
Bad.
it's really weird. It's
Yeah, and I even have my own anecdotal evidence now that we're talking about it. I posted a Gundam thing.
yes.
A Gundam reel of mine, and I was listening to your stream in the background. It was like a 3-second thing, I think, video of me just turning a piece showing off, how I've painted it, the details I've painted it. I posted that like a month ago, I think, and it's still getting this random 1 or 2 likes a week. And it's
Interesting.
like literally my only reel on my account. So yeah, the algorithm really is skewed towards reels.
What's the John Amore saying? Johnny Amore is saying. Johnny say
Why isn't John Moore in this chat?
he's chilled out. I don't know if I'm confident or if I've just given up, but I generally only post when I feel like it. Well, I just started having this conversation with Eric Weathers about how he feels as an artist and as a creative. It's mandatory, I'd say, for any independent artist to have some kind of social media platform following. Especially, if you're looking to strike out on your own, if you're looking to not work for another company. My point earlier was, if you're working for a company, whatever that giant company might be, if it's video games, if it's a Riot, a Blizzard, a Tencent, whatever it might be, you have a solid portfolio and you've been at the game a certain amount of time, you really don't need to worry about the social media platform, right? Your work speaks for itself. You've got that resume, that CV that'll knock everybody's socks off. This goes for just about all the creative fields: illustration, comic books, whatever your illustrative hopes and dreams may be, whatever you're professional at. But if you're looking to do like your own kind of creator-owned stuff, it is look at Young Rippa. Young Rippa has got a giant network of supporters from his own as well as supporters from friends. But one of the main factors why he was able to have that kind of success is because he built up his fan base over years and years and years. So when the time finally came where he said, okay, well, guess what? We've been talking a big game. Let's actually do the damn thing. Let's pull the trigger. Let's make a comic book. That's why he got like something like 40,000 people behind him. That's 40,000 people who believe in the person. That's 40,000 members of his community.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild that like, to circle all the way back. It's mandatory, I'd say, if you want to have a really successful outing as a freelancer. You have to get on that. Yeah.
It also depends on what the person's metric is for success, because if you're going by Young Rippa's numbers, the guy's in the millions.
Right.
And in order for you to build up to that, you're gonna need to do a lot of legwork to build your audience before that. But if you want, like, I don't know, what's a standard like yearly wage in America, like 50K.
Right.
You don't have to be Rippa, but you still gotta put in the work.
Yeah.
If you wanna do the whole crowdfunding / content, social media creation game, it's a lot of legwork to do, and most of it has nothing to do with making art or comics in this case.
I know, that's the other thing, right? Because, by the way, comic book posts generally aren't great for the algorithm, because linear storytelling doesn't really work on, or at least it didn't work on Instagram. I guess if you're doing linear storytelling now, I'm assuming the move would have to be video work. Like you would have to turn your panels into a video, and that's work, man. That's a lot of work, baby. Gecko says, I feel like the difference is reels are made to be consumed and then you move on. There's no drop a like, a comment, follow my account for more. No incentive for people to follow someone's. Exactly. So like you will get more reels followers, but reels, it's such a fickle thing. Reels and short form content. You will get followers and people will want to watch more of your reels and they'll be very supportive of your content. But they consume things differently, therefore their behavior patterns are different on whatever platform you have. I agree it's mandatory, but I don't pressure myself over it to the point it would negatively affect my art. I guess it's at the end of the day, you can only do what you're capable of. And even myself, I do aim for one post a day, but you know, our content versus the content of other creators, it's different, man. When you watch a channel that does commentary or just little quick asides that have video game footage playing on in the background, or just nondescript Adobe stock footage, right? I was watching a horror story channel the other day on YouTube, and he just had like these kind of like random, they look like they were almost AI generated horror photos, like scary photos. And like if you were talking about, and then she entered the hallway, it's a picture of a hallway. It's like, all right, yeah, so this guy's editing that stuff in. That's not the easiest thing to do. But I mean, you know, listen, toss a hallway photo in, talk more. It's basically reading a story aloud. I was watching The Quartering, right? That dude. I was watching one of his videos that popped up on my timeline, and I was checking it out. And he basically just reads the fucking news article.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the specifically political commentators or the cultural commentators, they just read articles to you.
Yeah, he found an article
with,
that he
with their own
liked.
take on it. But
Yeah,
Jesus
but
Christ.
that's the thing. His quote unquote take. A lot of these guys, a lot of like, yeah, the culture war lunatics, their takes are 100% predictable takes. They literally just echo everything that whole group of other dudes is yelling about. They all find the same articles, and they all basically reiterate each other's points, which is dumb, but also quick. And they hire editors too.
Yeah.
So it's basically, they see an article about, I don't know, Gina Carano or who knows, trans people, and they start screaming. Then they read the article, rip on it, or completely agree with it. Barely add any kind of, you know, they basically, yeah, they're news readers. Not even news, they're article readers with crap commentary, and they probably do a one take. They sit down, they record for 10, 15 minutes. They send it off to their editor edits a couple cuts, but not even that usually, and that's it, and content done. And they do that many times throughout the day, and that's all it is. Us, if you want content, if you want good content, you've got to make a good drawing or a good painting. I'm able to kind of goof up a little bit in that, you know, my content I can sketch, you know, I could sketch whatever. I could finish sketching this piece and even leave it in black and white, and it'll probably still get some views because, you know, I feel like that's the content that I've been working towards creating. So the people who follow my reels will be able to put up with this. But imagine you're like a painter, and your entire, you know, what would you call it? Not your community is built around that kind of art, where I don't want to say they demand a new painting every day, but imagine you got to do a new painting. They expect something of a certain caliber of work daily or damn near.
Imagine if you're an oil painter as well, on top of that.
Dude.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah, no, man, it's I can only imagine. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare because the amount of hours you're looking at, what it costs you to do these things. So that's why, I mean, listen, that's one of the reasons why I stream the art. Is it's a nice way to kill a couple birds with one stone. You know, I'm sketching for you guys live, so I get to be here. So it's Twitch and YouTube content. Then I eventually turn this video into short form content. Sometimes I turn it into long form content. So I'm able to go back to, I'm able to double dip, triple dip. But even then, right, we're not, like, there's work that I'm doing now that is going to take me hours and hours to finish. Like here, I pointed out this image earlier. I've been putting off coloring this because I know to finish these colors is going to be fuck, man, who knows, man? 5 hours, depending on how much I want to render it. I really got to do some adjustments. There's lots of like, I want to adjust some of the line work. I want to add some details, remove some details, change some things around. I want to render more aspects of her. I want to render a bunch of these vines. And I've got a lot more lighting to do. Like the background is pretty, but I want to push the background back. I want to push it much further back because right now it's all kind of reading flat. And I really want to push that background to the back, darken this up, really make her pop. And I also want to render a lot of these images behind her. So again, at my pace, we're talking 5 hours at least. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know, fucking, I'd rather just do a fucking sketch. I'd rather just do a sketch. Yeah, man. I don't know how other creators do it, because other creators are doing massive amounts of content while they've got full-time jobs, they've got family, they've got kids, you know, they've got the whole shebang, and they're still managing to churn out content quick. Let's see. Gex says, do you guys or have you used print on demand or online stores for your artwork like Etsy so that you could sell your art and make a passive income? Yeah, man, I did. I have an imprint shop right now. But the Gecko, the fact that you don't know I have an imprint shop just goes on to show you how fruitless that has been for me. I've got an Etsy shop right now too. Same thing. I saw an art creator that was getting hated on for posting the same art. They came back and said, well, what do you expect when it took me 20 hours to finish my art? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Again, it takes you out. If it takes you that many hours and hours and hours to do your work, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do 20 hours of work for one 15-second long video that may or may not do well depending on how the algorithm favors you? Get out of here, man. That is a recipe. That is a recipe for burnout. For major burnout. Also, it produces a negative feedback loop. I know I might not be saying it correctly, but in psychology, Bale, imagine, you know, it's like
We're using big weights.
Yeah, it's like the way people treat their animals. You know, it's like when they train lab rats. If every time you walk over here you get a shock, you're gonna stop walking over there. Well, guess what? For our stupid monkey brains, it doesn't work too dissimilarly. If every time you sit at your desk you feel like it's a horrible time because you have to force yourself to make content that you don't want to, guess what? There's going to be a point in time where that negative association with your desk, it's going to permeate your day. You're going to start dreading looking at any art that you're creating. It's going to break you down. It's going to fuck your head all up. It's going to be really toxic for you. I have a weird question about your channel, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. Yeah, what's up, man? Is my YouTube channel or just my YouTube? Oh, my YouTube channel. Who do you think your audience is? My audience is me. Me 6 years ago is my audience. So that's who I'm trying to find. Specifically, a person who has an interest in illustration, who is looking for help, guidance, along with, how to study anatomy, how to do mostly the fundamentals, and any kind of creative thought process that might help amplify those early foundational works. So, for example, yes, sure, it's important to know how to draw the human eye, and even knowing the anatomical structure of the eye as to make it seem more believable. However, I would point out, if I were giving myself advice, I would point out that, oops, the emotions in the eyes by way of the eyebrow and context are just as, if not more important than the eye itself. And that if you really want to learn how to quote unquote draw the eye, more than the anatomy itself, or at least as important as the anatomy itself, is you conveying some kind of emotion through the eye. Helpful tips like that, right? Elaborative tips like that. I ask that because I'm really asking, do you think you're providing the ideal content for that audience? Am I providing the ideal content for that audience? Yes and no. So sometimes yes. In my most recent YouTube video where I broke down my process for the piece that I was doing, I would say absolutely I did. On stream, a little less, because I don't think I have that large of a YouTube following for live streaming yet. So ideally what I want to do is continue to churn out those tutorial videos for said audience, so that when I am live streaming, those people who I've been teaching can come here and ask questions live. Yeah. However, and I stole this from Mikey Mega Mega. Mikey Mega Mega does kind of the best of both worlds, where during his live streams, he elaborates on some of the points that he's spoken about in his tutorials. But during his live streams, you get a mixture of both. You get a mixture of silly talk as well as art education. I don't know what to draw. Give me some ideas. Dude, go to Pinterest, man. That's what I do if I'm looking for something to draw. I'd love to see more of that stuff, because honestly, that's what I come here for, the art talk. Oh, here's the other deal. Here's the other part of that is I get fucking bored with the art talk. Personally.
How dare you?
I do, man. It's like this. I'm down to talk process. I'm down to talk breakdowns. I'm down to talk about other artists. But there's only so much of that stuff you could talk about before you want to just fuck around and just have a conversation. But that's what your ideal audience wants. No, John, remember, I said my ideal audience was me 6 years ago. So that's what me 6 years ago wants. A little bit of art, tutorial, and a little bit of nonsense. Which is basically what that is me in my old art studio with my friends. Whereas art process is what we talk about, and then we get bored of art talk, and we start talking about the other shit that we like, which is, for me, generally nerd culture. So talking about, comic books, movies, TV, fucking anime, manga. I started rewatching the last part of Attack on Titan. So just shooting the shit while we all draw. That's the other part of it I like. I don't know if it's just me, but I come more for the creator's personality. See, Gecko, thanks, buddy. Which circles back to Mikey Mega Mega, which is on his live streams. It is art focused, but he also does what's it called? I think he calls it hanging with Mikey. And he does these hour long videos where it's just basically a podcast. So that's I suppose, to be more specific, that's the goal. To do the art tutorials, have people into that, and then the live streams, let them be a mixture of both. So yeah, Gecko's point being, I guess, yeah. I guess the trick is me basically saying, hey, let me teach you some art. And then I sprinkle in my stupidity. As I sprinkle in my stupidity, you want to come by and hang out on the art stream so we can party together. And if you have art questions, I'll answer them for you. But when I'm not getting art questions, or the conversation takes a turn away from art, we get weird. We get to get real weird, and it's fun. Yeah, it's as if I'm talking with my mates and we're all drawing. 'Tis a vibe. That's what it is, Skek. That's what I want. And I guess maybe perhaps that's what I've always wanted for this channel. Just to have a community of either people that like art or interested in art, but who also like to fool around. Which basically, John, you know, you, Dave Tran, Eric, Bale, Skullbash, everybody who hangs out here that does art, likes comic books, likes talking about manga, likes talking about anime, likes talking about like new animation that's coming out, likes to talk about process and breakdowns, but also likes to fool around. You know, be a couple of goofballs. Yeah, that's it. But the thing about that is that's tough, man. That's a tough sell, because it's not hyper specific. So that means my audience comes from a bunch of different areas simultaneously, which for the algorithm well, frankly, it's confusing. But here's what I'm trying to avoid. What I'm trying to avoid is if I were to only do tutorials with my stuff, and everything I made and did was just like, hey, here's how I here's how I did this, and here's how I'm going to show you do this, and then but then if that's all I did, that doesn't bring me any kind of, it's not that it doesn't bring me joy, but it doesn't tickle that fulfillment button, because that feels more like just having a job, which is, it's fine. But if I'm gonna have a job, you know, then I might as well just have a job elsewhere with, like, you know, health benefits. You know, like if I'm gonna have a job, then I might as well just go out there and find one.
Get a job.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and also, I could easily see myself burning out that way a lot quicker.
Getting a job?
No.
Or mixing a job with everything.
No. I could see myself burning out a lot quicker if I were to do just solely YouTube tutorials, only because that's what the algorithm wants.
Oh yeah.
Just appeasing the algorithm to get the numbers, that would stink. However, I think you do have to make the tutorials. I don't think there's a way around that for a channel that doesn't have that large of a viewership base. For a channel that doesn't have that large of an established viewership, you kind of have to offer the masses a little bit of something for their troubles. You know, you gotta give them something. You know, a little something for free, maybe. It's like, hey, what do you think of this? Here, take this. Eric Kennedy, here. John, let me show you this. This is...
Why isn't John Moore in here?
I don't know. John Moore doesn't hop in the voice... Hey, John, how come you never hop in the voice chat? Hey, Eric, what's up?
What do you think it is? Do you think he's intimidated by guys like you?
Guys like you.
Guys like you.
Here we go. So here we go. Mikey Mega Mega's page. Here, a year ago, this video has got 277,000 views, and it's mapping good hips, bum, legs, and character sheets. So he offers.
I've watched that.
Sure.
Give me context.
What's up?
I said, give me context. What are you talking about?
We're talking about. John asked, "Oh, hello, Ange, hello, Angie Star, and Gay Star. Hi, welcome. Oh my gosh, hey again. I used to be a regular over on TikTok, but I got grounded, so I couldn't watch your streams. I'm back. How you doing? I'm all right. I haven't streamed on TikTok in forever. It's just it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to stream on TikTok because it's back to the Periscope days. You know, you got to find a phone holder and hold the phone over your iPad just so. So it's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Here we go. So Mikey Mega Mega a month ago, body mapping, window press, right? Hey, that's a famous with the body up against the window, and he's got some pretty provocative spread legs, how to draw the splits. Squatting pose, and then he's got all the various squatting poses, and these videos are getting 100,000 views, 122,000 views. This one is 456,000 views, so he's still crushing it. However, these are his tutorials. He does reviews, he does tech reviews, which do pretty well. 131,000 views, 77,000 views, 159,000 views. And then he's got Draw with Mikey. And these are hour-long sessions where he just draws in the background. He draws in the background and he hangs out. And it's basically, he answers a few questions as he paints. And it's basically what this stream is. He's drawing, he's answering questions, and he's also fucking around. It's more or less a Mikey podcast. So for me, this has always been a goal. He's within the realm of where I'd like to strive to be with my content creation, where I'll help you with tutorials, and I'll try to teach you what I've learned, lessons I've picked up along the way, and then sprinkle that in with just the regular nonsense. And I guess Gecko on YouTube, where he said, I come more for the creator's personality. Right. So perhaps you come for the tutorials, but you stay for the goofball-y nature of the stream, which is yours truly. Like, yes. Yeah, no, John was asking me who my ideal audience is for my content, and I told him it's me 6 years ago.
You narcissist.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a...
Just you, though, nobody else.
Yeah, exactly. Just a fucked up kind of like a Native American looking Brendan Fraser. Obesity and all.
You look Brendan Fraser? Do you have a Brendan Fraser-ish to you?
No.
You think?
Brendan Fraser from the movie Whale.
So that descriptive is just like random.
Yeah. No, I don't look anything like the dude. John says, instead of tutorials, some colorful comic anime commentary might be cool. Yeah, no, listen, I'd love to throw that in there too. I just maybe you know what I should do? Maybe I should do a couple of those. I used to do it. Bale and I used to do that basically with our little reviews. But you know what, man, those really didn't do that well. No offense to Bale, I think we were crushing it, but it's just they didn't pick up. Hello, Nikki. I want to say I gotta run though. Stuck in the office today. Have a good stream. Thank you, buddy. Eric Weathers is back. What's up, Weathers? Weathers, Canetti's back. Weathers was waiting for you, Canetti. He loves the sound of your voice.
Nah.
Wait, this weekend was Rose City? No, or this week coming up is Rose City?
It's this week, yeah. Starting Wednesday, Thursday, at least for me.
Are you nervous?
Going to a convention?
Yeah.
No. No.
Have you ever been
It's like
nervous about going to a
It's like
convention?
asking you, do you get nervous when you, like, hit live? Do you get nervous when you stream?
No, I don't even think about it anymore.
There you go.
It's just-
Same exact thing. I just show up.
I was setting up a gopher trap in my front lawn, says Weathers.
A gopher trap.
And go for a trap.
That's right.
But yeah, no nervousness. Have I ever gotten nervous? I can't. It's that far back. I can't recall. Going to conventions is fun. Well, fun enough anyway. I think though, I think I Twitch is going to be probably my last year going.
Yes, you said you've done enough of these.
You're too good for it.
No,
Say again.
Dale says you're too good for conventions.
No. It's just I don't think I'm getting as much out of it as I used to. And if it's a choice between like going and just sort of just like sitting there, and not necessarily not looking enthusiastic, but definitely not as like that nervous energy that I used to get because I loved being there. If I'm just okay about being there, I just rather excuse myself and get the table space to somebody who'd rather be there. You know, like super into it, right? Because I think I'm old enough to think that to believe that there's a new generation of like artists that are coming up who want to do the convention circuit, finally are able to afford to go to one of these bigger venues. And I say, go get it, man. Yeah, young kids.
Go get him, Tiger,
More power
is
to
what
you.
Eric says.
Mm-hmm.
Gex says, Eric says, not a euphemism. He was actually setting up a gopher trap. I'm on my journey to an art career, and social media is a good start, and that sort of content is exactly what I strive to do, to get to know my audience better and speak to them how I would my friends. Why not, man? I don't know how people do the personality thing. Like, I'm a such and such personality. I'm playing a character. It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of work, man. I'd rather I'm playing the character
Just
of
an
myself.
extra plate to spin.
Yeah.
And there's already enough plates spinning.
Yeah, I've got enough. It's enough of a headache to be myself, let alone someone else. Bill, what's on the drawing docket today for you, buddy?
I haven't drawn today. I mean, unless you count painting Gundam parts drawn.
No, I consider that
I'm drawing tomorrow.
debauchery.
It's gonna be classes, like until I for myself can notice improvement. I don't think, because I did the swimming 5 days a week thing where I produced like a headshot or a bust, and that was fun. But I felt at the end of the second week I was like, I'm trying to speedrun this, and it's all like a timed exercise, and I don't want to fall into any bad habits because of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going back into learning mode.
Yada Man says, enough of a headache to be myself. That needs to be on a t-shirt. Thanks, Yad. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, I'm going back into learning mode. I have access to drawing force material, or force drawing. So I'm gonna be digging my heels into that. I also got wind of this Domestica $10 deal. Like all of their classes were like at $10, and
Oh,
one
wow.
of them was for like anime style. And since I want to draw my humans in a more anime style, I was like, okay, let me pick that up for when I go back into drawing human faces again.
You know, as a person who loves anime to the extent that you do, I did always find it kind of surprising that you didn't draw in a more anime manga style.
Yeah, you can blame Greg Capullo for that.
Well, listen, Greg Capullo is
I saw his work on Spawn when I was a kid, and I was like, ooh, give me that. And when I came back to reading comics in general, the first thing I looked for was Spawn. And at the same time, when I was looking for that, he was on Batman New 52. So the comic book guy was like, well, while the trade for Spawn comes, the same artist is doing Batman. And I was like, well, that's up on this train. And yeah, he's such an like Capullo's one of the people where when I see his stuff, I'm like, I want to draw like that. But initially, when I first started drawing as a kid, like all of my human drawings were like Dragon Ball Z, so I did have that anime DNA from an early age. It's just when I grew up and saw more of Capullo, I was like, you know what? If I had seen Capullo's art more and a lot earlier and I didn't stop drawing, I would have been a Capullo clone 100%.
Interesting. I feel like there is a Capullo clone out there. Not to call anybody out.
Yeah, but
Look, that's what I was just thinking about. Who's
yeah,
the guy?
it's
Yeah.
Vic Bogdanovich. Yeah, it's Vic. Let me show.
Let's see.
Interesting.
Yeah, I even have Vic's brushes. Or at least some of them. I don't know if he's made new ones. Like, let me show you. Okay, this is a perfect example. I don't know
Yeah,
why I don't know.
drop the link.
Okay, I'm gonna drop better chat.
Yeah, Bogdanovich says. Is he Russian? Is that name?
He is Serbian,
Yuck.
so he's from my neck of the woods.
All right, here. All right, we're pulling up the tweeter. Oh wow, this looks like a combination between Capullo and Jorge Jimenez. Here, let me pop.
Marketable styles.
Yeah, no, he's managed to kind of ape Jorge's style, which is, you know, those textures and that brush. I mean, if you had told me this is at first glance, I would have thought this was Jimenez.
Yeah, his early work, Vic's early work is a lot less
Here.
digital brushy and textury.
Yeah,
And when I first saw it, it was on.
this is
What was this new Polynesian?
this is
character they
Capullo.
made?
Like this is.
Oh yeah. You see this and you're like, Greg?
On your screen
Yeah.
right now, I want to see.
Yes.
Like this is the eyes, the eyebrows, the mouth line,
The head shape,
the head shape. Yeah.
the
That is-
nose.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I
yeah.
used to draw the same nose.
Sure, that quick little jagged nostril line. Yeah, that's
A friend
Capullo.
of mine hates it. I showed a similar drawing of mine to a friend. He's into anime. He was like, if you remove the faceplate from that nose, it would be perfect.
Faceplate. He's coming into his own more though. Well,
Oh,
it looks
yeah.
like, well, it looks like he's
Which
coming
is-
more into Jorge Jimenez.
I mean, he's
Is the,
embracing digital.
oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, I can see the Capullo, sure.
Hey,
Let's see.
hey, Weathers. Do you think Jorge Jimenez is a top or a bottom? He's got to be a top, right? There's no way. Or he's a power bottom. He's generating all the torque. Bale, what do you think?
He is Spanish, so you can't automatically put him as a top, because how Spanians are.
What
so
the fuck is this?
I'm gonna
Oh.
I'm gonna say he's a switch.
Oh, he's
What
a
is this?
he's a verse. He's a verse.
Because I also follow him and he's a sweetheart on social media. I think he's one of the very few pros who are genuinely excited about the books they're working on and they promote them with excitement. And the other person who does that is Todd.
I think to do the caliber of art that he does, that he makes,
Are you gonna bring this back to top and bottom? Is that what you're gonna do? The caliber of art
could
that he
only be
makes, he
made by
must
a
be-
power bottom, is what I was getting at.
Ah.
So no, I wasn't gonna go there. I was actually gonna say something sweet, but Eric dragged me back. So by that logic, what I'm also saying is that Todd McFarlane is also a bottom. You heard it here first. And this is how I never work in the comic book industry ever. Here, look. Here's Jimenez's Batman. I mean, that textured brush, if you like, if you're looking at the art style scale from Capullo to Jimenez, you could really feel the influence.
I mean, it's just a dry brush.
I'm calling it.
I even had
Seen that
not
dry
like
brush
this.
art though, and some people don't know how to pull that look off very well.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I saw it recently. Someone had like probably the same dry brush Jorge is using, and I was like, "You've seen it used, but you don't know how to use it yet."
Yeah.
And I can tell. Very obvious.
He's coming into his own more, no more, says Weathers. He spelled coming C-U-M though.
Please.
Of course he
Jeez.
did.
Jeez, Weathers, come on, man. Can you get in trouble for comic books for like talking silly about creators like that?
What do you mean?
For example, let's say actually was a person in comic books that people either knew or cared for, and you're at a comic book convention, and news gets back to Jorge that you were calling him a power bottom. Is that like a conversation? Does Jorge like walk over and you say, you know, hey, listen, don't talk about me like that?
What the fuck?
You're making
is
it
it?
fucking worse. He's not only gonna come to the table because somebody had mentioned that he's a power bottom, but you also made him sound like
He's in the
It's fucking-
cartel.
this is fucking awful. Listen,
this
of the things that he could come over for, it's not because you just made a comment about him being a power bottom.
You
It's
know
because you made him sound like a bad guy from The Good and Bad and the Ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, good to know. Good to know. Well, here's the other thing, dude. Jorge Jimenez could fuck me up. He is
In more ways
huge.
than one.
Yeah. That dude is massive.
Yeah. So stop talking shit, man. 'Cause
Yeah.
You don't know what that guy's temperament is, you know?
Yeah, man, I don't want to get choked out. It's like, hey, do you see Jorge Jimenez choking that dude, that dude out at a
Native
Comic-Con?
American dude. Some random Native American you seen choking him up?
I think I saw Jorge Jimenez committing a hate crime. Well, he's more successful than I am, so I guess I'm allowed because you're allowed to punch. You're allowed to punch up.
Yeah, you're punching up.
I'm punching up.
Actually, no. Is that okay?
He is gay though, but he's non-white. I'm non-white too, so we cancel each other out there.
That's not how it works, Mike.
say his.
That's not. I don't know where your
he's-
formula fucking comes from, but that's
Yeah.
not it. That is not the thing.
He's a proper Spaniard though, so
Oh, he's a Spaniard? I
Like
thought-
80%. No, he's from actual Spain. Like,
Oh.
if there's this convention here in Spain, I can go and see him and and tell him you said hi.
Oh, I thought he was like I thought he was Latinx.
No, he's
See,
a
there's
proper
the other term
Spaniard.
that gets you into trouble. That's the other one. That's gonna send the Latinx community after you. Knock it off.
Let's see, what's Eric saying? Jorge is choking out a Native American pregnant. Oh, God damn it. Yo, Weathers, you doing any cons this year? Weathers is like, of
He's
course
too
I
busy
am.
to do cons. He's leveling fucking 80% of Comics Geek books, and probably like another 10 indie books.
Busy dude.
Busy Weathers, he's lettering right now. Do they call Eric Master of Letters at conventions?
Wait, what do you think they do that?
Whenever he's on a panel. Say,
Okay, when they introduce him.
Master of Letters, Eric Weathers, the Letter King. A small local
Okay.
one, 20 minutes away. Other than that, not yet.
And that's by design, though, right, Eric? You're super busy.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have time for that nonsense.
Or is it like me and Mike that just we hate people? Mike, what's your bullshit cutoff? Have you ever had a bullshit cutoff for people at conventions? What is the thing that kind of made you go like, not only do I hate this individual, but the fact that they came to my table. You don't have to name them out. It can be me. It's okay. I'll remember it, but don't say my name. But like, has an individual ever come to your table and be like, said something, you're like, not only do I do dislike this individual, but they ruined my experience here?
No. I don't think, you know what it is? You've attained a certain level of notoriety where the amount of people that like might show up at your table is varied. You know? It's kind of like that formula where at least 1 out of every 100 people is going to be an asshole.
You or just generally?
No, just in general, right? Just population numbers. I feel like you've hit that threshold where there's so many hundreds of people visiting you at your table, you're going to get a bunch of real, just the numbers, the sheer numbers. Not everyone's going to be a peach.
Nobody shows up at my table, Mike, but I like this fantasy. Let's continue.
Yeah, Eric says, you ain't a daisy. You ain't a daisy at all, is what he says, as he spits at them. Bonus points for anybody who can catch where that movie quote came from.
That is a tombstone.
Oh,
reference.
you
Thank
knew
very
it. Come on. You knew it the second I
No.
said the word daisy.
much.
I thought... a bit of both, says Eric Weathers. No, I've had stinky people come up to my booth, like that really were.
Are you saying that like the way I say it to my son? Like, oh, that guy's a stinky person, as in like they're
Yeah.
a bad person? Or are you talking about like actual body odor?
No, body odor, like really
Body.
poor hygiene.
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've
Isn't
had
that default for conventions though?
no,
No.
most people like that's the. I think you know what it is. The stink is so bad on some people they ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
Most
Oh,
people,
yeah, that makes
most people have perfectly fine hygiene, but
Yeah, not every comic book store owner is like some guy, super fat guy who wears like a shirt that's 2 sizes too
Yeah.
small. There's some, and those are the notable ones, and therefore they become like the,
yeah,
you know,
they become the stereotype that people stick to.
there it is. There it is. Because it's funny, you know, similar to, there's like a story that you tell, oh, somebody, you know, I brushed up against somebody at a show, and they left their smell on me for like 4 or 5 hours, which happened to me, by the way.
Ugh.
Like the right side of my body smelled like that person's
Ugh.
body odor
God damn it.
the remainder of the day. So starting around lunch, I had that guy's smell on me. Now, it may not be noticeable to anybody else, but to me, it was distinct, right?
Let's see. John Moore says, I hope my questions weren't offensive. I was trying to approach the content question critically, as you should. It's important for all content
What did he
creators. John wanted to know that he wanted to know 2 questions. First, who my target audience is, and second,
Yeah.
do I feel the content I'm creating is attracting my target audience or benefiting my target audience? And I said it could be, honestly, sometimes yes, sometimes no. My last YouTube video that I did was a tutorial where I broke down a handful of different aspects of my creative approach. And for that video, I would say absolutely. I was catering to an audience that I want to attract. But you know, listen, there are moments on stream. There are other videos that I make that don't quite hit that goal as well as I'd like it to. And I guess I also had to tell John that although I do want my work to be content focused on tutorials, some of the other time I kind of like this, like we're doing right now. We're talking about art styles, but we're also talking about comic book conventions. We might be talking about, you know, work
Power
schedules,
bottom or a power top.
right? Right. So like we're just having fun. Like if somebody has a question about art or the conversation is focused on art, that's great, but that's not always going to be the case. However, I said this to John as well. If somebody comes and generally has a question that I can answer, or at least attempt to answer. I would love to do that, but you know, the truth of the matter is, as much as we love talking process, eventually the conversation is going to naturally lean away from that, as it tends to do. The same way if we were talking about any topic, you know, if like we were talking about Marvel or anime, the topic is probably going to meander a little bit because that's the nature of conversation. So I guess, yes, so reiterating, it truly is, I am trying to find an audience that is very much like myself 6 years ago, who'd be interested in process, interested in the behind the scenes creation, but as well as ready to pal around. So kind of like people that you could share an art studio with.
So would you say that the part of the focus of the stream is what you just mentioned now, but primarily because it's like it's a good it's something that you've scheduled for yourself, and it's sort of a good level of consistency and exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to know, like, if the objective is growth, right? Because obviously, if the objective is growth, then you know you'd be putting your tits out there, and
Right.
you'd be drawing more. I don't know what constitutes or what facilitates growth on YouTube or wherever it is that you want to grow, the space that you want to grow in, right?
Honestly, the version of me putting my tits out is for an artist, tutorials, like but basic tutorials. So you know, the how to draw an eye kind of stuff. Hey Val, thank you for the subscription. Gex says, would you post clips of your live streams into a YouTube video? Maybe if you talk about an interesting topic. Yes, actually. John Moore pinpointed out the other day I was talking about process stuff in the first maybe 20 minutes of the stream, and he said, yeah. So I've actually highlighted that, and I've got that audio saved. I just got to go through it and edit it down to you know, the most pertinent points, and then put some kind of B-roll behind that and put that up as a tutorial video. Because yeah, the example I gave Eric earlier, the Mikey Make It Mega example, being the kind of barometer for success and what I'd like to do. He puts out content tutorials. I mean, I think when he first started, he was doing it weekly, maybe even bi-weekly, twice a week, just churning out anime and manga tutorials. You know, how to draw manga faces, how to draw, you know, cutesy anime girls, how to draw whatever it is. And to this day,
How to draw giant tits.
yeah.
It's on there.
Can I get your Procreate brushes? Actually, the brushes I'm using right now, actually, yeah, I've only got a pencil pack currently, and it's how I used to do this. This is the pencil. I use my own pencil to do this. It's chaos, but it is a good pencil brush.
Do you have the
You
art
ink everything with that pencil brush too, or no?
No. I've got an inker brush that I've actually customized myself. I took somebody else's inker brush and I kept tweaking it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually like take what I've learned from that and make my own inking brushes.
The what you've learned from tweaking.
Yes, because tweaking and creating isn't that dissimilar. So when you go into the I started learning how to utilize all these various settings, these brush settings, and they're really something remarkable. Because the pencil pack that I made about a year or so ago, that it's up on my Patreon now, but it's for Photoshop, and they don't translate 100% from Photoshop to Procreate, unfortunately.
they're a little clumsy, don't you think? Would you
Yeah,
say?
they miss. There's some subtlety and nuance that gets missed, so you do end up having to tinker with them when you drag them from Photoshop to Procreate. What's the best place to host your brushes? Is it Gumroad? And what's the
Gumroad
That's
is-
where I go.
yeah, Gumroad. Wait, what was that?
Gumroad is very clunky to use at times.
Well, I feel
In
like
what way?
Gumroad's yeah, Bill. Elaborate, please.
I have Jim Reyes' brushes, and it could be on his end, but he fought for like 15 minutes to send me his new updated free brush, because I bought his brushes without registering as like a guest buyer. So I didn't have an account to which he could automatically send the updated brush.
Okay.
So
That's
what
the
he
clumsiness
tried
that you're
to do-
talking about.
The clumsiness is that he tried fiddling with giving me my own discount code, and it just wouldn't work for
Mhm.
like a long ass while. And then he just resorted to
Mm.
sending it to me via email. It could be on his end. He might just not be as savvy when it comes to working with
I was
Gumroad.
gonna say, that sounds like a Kennedy problem. You know what I
Friend,
mean? Like, there's plenty. I think there's plenty of times when I bought something and I don't know if if I've run into a similar situation, because I get emails from those people without I'd get email, because don't you need an email so that they can deliver the receipt to you plus
yes.
any sort of updates? Isn't that kind of built in?
Yeah, it's kind of like a trick almost. to
I
get
don't
your
know
email.
about updates, but if you don't have an account, you can. What I think is that Gumroad cannot
Yeah.
backcheck to you if you're not registered on their platform. They send you like a receipt when you buy
Uh-huh.
something, but when it comes
Yeah.
to, hey, this creator updated their brushes and you can download them by going into your account and following the
Yeah.
link from your purchase. And if you don't have an
Right.
account with that link to that
Right.
purchase, you can't do it on your own. You have to bother the creator.
I see what you're saying.
Wow, that's
Alright.
wild. Which
It
canvas
could
size?
be a creator issue, but it also could be.
Here, I'll show you my canvas size. My canvas size is ridiculously big, though. So
No
So he
reason.
said.
For no reason.
my
by the way.
canvas size is 5,400 pixels by 7,200 pixels.
Is
So
that
it's-
54 by 17 in inches?
It's well, no, it's
That's why Mac only has 3 layers at any.
it's 9 by 12 at 600 DPI.
Wait, and you can only have 3 layers with
No,
600
no.
DPI?
You could have 9 layers, but who's counting?
I think you are. I think you're clear about your layer cap. You know.
Yeah, but yes, so that's what I do. 9 by 12, 600 DPI. But what I like about this is I can't goof around. So like even if I'm painting this poison ivy, you know, these are the 9 layers I have, and these are the 9 layers I get, and that's it. So no more. I actually had it was actually kind of nice because I was able to kind of kill that. What I
Big
used to
cut.
do is, wait, what did you say, Bill?
It's nice to be cucked by only having 9 layers
No,
available.
dude, it's the opposite of cuck. You think it's being cucked,
Is it?
but it's not. It's freedom. You think that, oh my god, these are limitations, but in the limitations in art, man, can breed creativity. So it's actually
Exactly what a cuck would say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
sounds like
I'm giving you a hard time. I'm giving you a hard time. I ran
No,
into it.
I was actually trying to think of who's a famous cuckold.
Well, it's a good thing we don't
Rock.
know of anyone.
Barack Obama?
No, The Rock.
Oh,
as
The
in
Rock.
Wayne Johnson.
No, I want you to fuck
Let me
my
say
wife.
this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what he does. The new M1 chip that is in the new iPads. I don't know which one you have.
Oh no, I've got a 3-year-old iPad, like
There you go.
3rd gen.
That M1 with the stats that you have now, or for your dimensions,
Yeah.
probably offers twice as many layers
Oh.
because of its processing power
Nice.
and its memory.
Yeah, no, I know. I was. I used to be the guy. I used to be the guy with like 100 layers on Photoshop.
Gross. Why? Why do you have that many layers? What's the purpose?
Because every new thing I would do would be like new layer. Oh, I'm flats. Well, first off, it would start basic like inks, flats, but then I'm like, oh, let me redo the inks. Let me like, all right, I'm gonna redo these inks. So let me double the ink layer and then flip it back and forth. And it's like, okay, wait, how's this look? How's this working? All right, well, I'm coloring this. Let me redo the colors. All right, I'm gonna tweak this. All right, well, now I'm working on her arm. So let me do that. At this point, it's been so long now, I don't even remember what I would use all those layers for. But I used them. You bet your ass I was using a shocking amount of layers. So when I came to Procreate, to start using Procreate regularly, I was beside myself in that there were so many, like, there was such a restrictive, there were such heavy restrictions put on me now. But I had no choice. I had to make it work. But then I stopped using all those goddamn layers, and I realized I didn't really need them anymore. Worst case scenario, if I really fucked up, and I've made a layer flat that I maybe shouldn't have. It's like, it's something you can't like repaint, and it doesn't take that much long. At least my style of art. Perhaps if I were like a like really hardcore high-end concept painter, that the ones who do that almost hyper realistic, really beautiful work. Maybe if I were one of those and I flattened some shit and it looked like ass, I'd be kicking myself. But Eric says the Rock Obama. Thank you. It makes me clear. You're welcome, person whose name I can't pronounce. The first letter of your name looks like an H, an A, a backwards N, the symbol for pi backwards, a lowercase b, but let's see, backwards N, C. Listen, Bale, why is this Cyrillic language so stupid looking, Bale? I'm sorry,
don't know how to read
the Cyrillic alphabet.
I don't know. Why don't you just set Bale up to fail with that question? Why don't you?
No, I wanted him to. I just wanted a sassy response from him, which he delivered. Well done.
Sounds stupid. You're the one who's stupid because you can't.
It's stupid. You're stupid.
You sounded like a fucking kid, Bale. No, you're the stupid one.
I know.
You're a Cyrillic face.
Hey, Praetor. And then Foul says Kanye West is the biggest cuck. Good call, Foul. Foul says, I jump on Twitch to see how my boys are doing, and only 9 viewers are watching. Man, Twitch has fallen, hasn't it? Twitch, I think, is in the middle of falling. I don't think they've fallen quite yet, but I think they're...
What do you think is happening right now?
Well, Pokimane herself is like, I'm chilling, and this is after like a bunch of other Twitch's big streamers have been bought out by YouTube, and a lot of them say the same thing, which is I'm burning out. It's that the Twitch streamer schedule is untenable for most. XQC and those guys, they'll stream 12 hours, 14-hour streams, and they do this damn near daily. Ludwig left, if I remember correctly. Yo, what's the topic of conversation this morning? Just whatever you've heard in the last few minutes. We're talking Twitch's downfall, perceived downfall. But as Twitch is losing its content creators, and as streamers are basically saying that they're burning out left and right from the grueling hours and pace, unlike YouTube, whereas listen, if you're doing stuff on YouTube, it takes hours to get your content ready, but you're not spending 14 hours a day on a video. I mean, even if you're making some of the highest content on the platform, like Mr. Beast, first off, there's editors and there's all these other people that you can have to help you, that you can pay to help you. With Twitch, you don't even have that option. If you are one of the top streamers, you still have to show up for countless hours a day, because you can't outsource that. It's you. It's all you. and it's a rat race where that top group of people are in constant competition with each other. Twitch is 100 times smaller than YouTube, so that when people have looked at the numbers, that top group of people, they're all watching the same handful of streamers. So I think it's like 1 in every 3 people would like watch XQC and then go watch like Trainwreck. Like they share 30% of their audience because that's kind of how the platform works. So you're kind of just stuck in this never-ending, inescapable content creation loop, and it starts driving people crazy.
You're also speaking about, sorry to interrupt, but aren't you also pointing out specific streamers that are game-centric? Is Twitch still primarily game-focused?
I'd say
as opposed to where...
I'd say it's primarily game-focused. I think the guys who do the most, who get the most numbers, highest audience count is mostly video games. I could be mistaken. Please correct me out there if you know otherwise. When I got on here the other day, the front page recommended Amaranth stream. It was just her boobs. It's a lot of work to stay ahead of the idiots. New streamers will be ready to take them top spots. If Pokey and XUC leave Twitch, there will be streamers who will see that as a crack in the door to put them hours in. Agreed. If you were to start fresh streaming now, would you start with Twitch and YouTube? I do both. I do what I'm doing now. I dual stream. Eric, so I'm on here and I'm on YouTube, and as you can see in the chat, I've got both a Twitch chat and a YouTube chat going at the same time. The problem with Twitch is like Patreon. It's like any other one of those websites where, unfortunately, you'll suffer, and this took me too many years to realize. If you don't have a pre-existing audience on Twitch, it's really immensely hard to get new eyes on your content based on Twitch's system. Twitch's discovery system is what's coined on social media as a kingmaker system, which is basically when you go to discover new art, new content, whatever that content may be, it's the people who are crushing it at the top. So the people who are doing the best are at the top, so they get more of the views. So once you're on top, you kind of stay on top. And if you're at the bottom, well, the opposite is true as well, because in order to find a content creator who's got 10 viewers, you've got to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to get the bottom of the category. And let's be honest, people aren't doing that, especially people who are looking for new content. So your only chance of growing is either A, having a primary audience off of Twitch that you can bring to Twitch that will watch you do your thing, or you get in some kind of group and you get help from those kings. You have them host you, you have them talk you up, you're active in other streams, and you kind of have to play the Twitch networking game to kind of siphon off viewers.
You have to dedicate yourself to that, right? Like it's got to be there's a whole other effort outside of just streaming that you kind of have to take on.
Yes.
In order to facilitate a bit more growth based on the maze running that you just said. Yeah?
Yes. And
is that fair? Maze running?
Yeah, I'd say so. But the what really sucks about all that is that at the end of the day, all that basically stays on Twitch.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So it's not even in your best interest to try to explode on Twitch. It's way more fruitful for you to put that effort into other social media platforms.
But if you do explode on Twitch, I mean, just to play advocate, right?
Sure.
Isn't there a level of viability by way of income if you explode on Twitch? Doesn't it become almost sustainable, even if that's all you get is Twitch?
Listen, if you can secure even a few hundred viewers that are really dedicated to you, you can make a decent income on Twitch. It's true, but you're also simultaneously locking yourself into Twitch's system, the very system that we just saw Pokimane release a whole video about how she's all fucked up from the endless amount of content. So yeah, you lock yourself into that that never-ending streaming cycle.
Is that what they're saying? Is that it's become untenable because they realize that in order for them to continue being relevant, they have to continuously stream nonstop.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
It's a
That's across the board, right? That's not unique to Twitch. That's
well, it's
YouTube.
no,
It's any
it,
sort of.
it is, but the major difference between Twitch creation and YouTube creation is, Eric.
Yeah.
You know, so like let's say you do a
Yes.
video. Let's say you do a video a week, right? That might be
Yes.
8 hours of your day. If you're doing really
Mhm.
elaborate videos, it might be a 20-hour video. But generally, once you're at that level, you have editors that can help you out, and you might have production assistants.
Okay.
Now, Twitch streamers don't get you might have a bunch of moderators, you might have people helping you with your content, but when you're on Twitch, you're on Twitch. Like that, it's you and the camera and your audience, and that's it. You're not going anywhere. You're not outsourcing shit. You've got to be on camera in front of them. Yeah.
Is it because Twitch is more of a live streaming platform as opposed to a pre-recorded content platform? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. So you're just in this rat race that never ends. It just never ends.
It sounds awful.
So yeah, versus like, yeah, all right, yeah, making a 1 or 2 YouTube videos a week, it's not the easiest thing in the world. It is a pain in the ass, and it's lots of editing. It's a headache. But once you put that 20 some odd hours in, the rest of the week is yours. I mean, obviously you're going to keep on working on more content ideally, but at least it's not 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. Let's see. What's the market cap?
And I don't mean to be an asshole though, Mike. But didn't these people know that that's what they were getting into when they got big in this platform, or did the rules switch on a mid game?
I don't think they knew what they, because like, you know, Pokimane started doing that. I think she was 16 years old. Like, you know, it's like 7 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
So I don't think she was really fully aware of what it all would become.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Maybe I think there might be an argument for that now, getting into Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
Think about the effect on your social life. Well, yeah, think about the effect on just your life, period. It's
Social life. Come on. Don't lie.
Your social life, but no, just well,
You have a social life, Mike?
a little bit.
Okay. I've always known you to be a social butterfly, so I'd be surprised if you went the other way.
That's me, Mr. Butterfly.
You get around.
That's a fair sum of money. Pokey left and then she just came back. She said she's streaming less because it's not fulfilling. Well, her content wasn't very good. Same with Valkyrae. I don't know who Valkyrae is, but I know the name. Is she the Asian girl? Is she like the mixed Asian girl that plays video games?
It's all of them.
I mean, maybe she's like a professional video game commentator.
Ooh, I don't know.
The fast money has
Mhm.
seduced a lot of streamers. Look at our lovely Indie Fox and where she's at now. Well, she was crushing it on that OnlyFriends stuff, last I heard. I wonder if that streamer we know will quit too. She was recommended to me a couple weeks back, and I saw she had gone full, oh god, VTuber. She went full VTuber, John. The one that you know. Indy has a house for, I think Indy bought a multi-million-dollar house with her earnings.
In fucking California of all places.
Unless that's where destination takes her. Is that place? What a poor waste of money.
Indy
sounds
also
super
can't
judgy.
use the Indie Fox name. She's being sued for the name. By who? Oh, how'd you find that out? It's under litigation. Somebody else is using her name. What?
Somebody else is using her name, or somebody else? She's been using somebody else's name.
Man, I'm out of the loop. The new Indie
Yeah, so-
Fox. What? You go the Twitter name. You go to the Twitter name. It's not her. What?
Really? What happened? Did she quit her Twitter account and then she lost it, or?
Did somebody
Oh,
copyright it?
Twitter. I'm sorry. In my head, I'm like, oh. I
Wait.
thought they had said Twitch, but Twitter's whatever.
Did she not have the wherewithal to copyright her handle?
That or just go into it. Wait,
What
is it a completely different name than Indie Fox? Is it like the new Indie Fox?
I don't know.
Is that really what it is?
I don't know.
So,
What about the
Well
haters?
done.
As stupid as it sounds, YouTubers don't need to worry about reading hate comments. If you're streaming, you have to deal with that live, which can go one of two ways. Oh yeah. That's the other. Geck brings up a great point. Whereas
so
when you're on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it may be, you could shut off comments. You could have your social media manager honestly just delete comments that are shit. There are ways to avoid having to deal with trolls and those kinds of people, especially if you're a large enough creator. On Twitch, although you do have moderators they're fast, but they're not perfect. So there's going to be a few seconds there where the remark, where the insult, where whatever it is comes through, and sometimes it's really truly vile things, and streamers do see them. Like I said, even if the moderator takes a few seconds, you glance at the chat, you're going to see that somebody insulting you, calling you a racial slur, saying something full of misogyny, whatever it may be, whatever horrible, gross comment is being hurled your way, it's gonna land. They're gonna get a lot of them.
What's the most vile thing that you've gotten, Mike?
Nothing yet. I'm not big enough to get
Okay.
the real
Is
professional
that a
trolls.
challenge?
I think that's a challenge. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube does autofilter a lot though.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna
So
say.
yeah, so people can't just write whatever they want on my videos. I mean, they can, but YouTube is immediately going to flag it and chuck it to the side. And then I have to go in there and deliberately look at it or unblock it. And I generally don't. Generally speaking, I don't jump in there and check that out. The ban stuff, that is. But yeah, so there is that aspect to it as well. The Twitch aspect where you're just gonna have to eat those insults. Someone got her name and account. They're duking out in court, so she is now Indie Foxy until it's resolved. She says she's had the domain since 2014. Indie or this other creator? Hang on, I'm really curious. Now I'm actually curious to see who this other creator is who has Indie Fox's name.
Wouldn't you, as that other creator, I understand the benefits of it because your coattails to be ridden as big as was that fair assessment? Big? Is she big? I don't know.
Content
as
creator.
big as Indie Fox has gotten.
Yeah.
Right? But you also wouldn't you want to get away from that because Indie Fox is in the OnlyFriends community, and right? Wouldn't you kind of steer away from it, or am I being too simple? Am I not seeing the entire picture here?
Let's see. Content creator and fashion model. Content creator and fashion model. Indie Fox was established in 2014. I have owned the domain name since 2014 and I'm trademarked. Well, I guess they're going to court to figure it out. I will say this broad's a lot uglier than the old Indie Fox. She's got a bit of a man face.
She's mannish.
No, that other chick is probably using it to make money as well on OnlyFriends. Dead air. That's never happened before. I was literally just looking at this girl's Instagram page. I was just curious to see what her deal is. I mean, what happens if you open a private window and then you Google the name Indie Fox?
What does happen?
I'm assuming it brings you to some very salacious. I'm assuming it brings you to some very salacious stuff. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. I've got a Brave browser open. I'm gonna type in Indie Fox. I'm not gonna show you guys because, well, I've got a feeling. I think I know where it's gonna go. All right. Well, all right. The first link is this broad's. The first link is this broad's. This white girl, her Instagram, but the second link is about, Janelle, we'll say, and then then it's just
Wait, the
nothing
imposter's a white woman?
I know, right? And then but then all the other links are about Janelle.
Yeah, I mean, she does have a search engine history.
Yeah, band streamer. Oh man, that's gotta be funny.
Yeah, she'd
Which
be in
part,
court and then they'd ask her, how can you prove you're the actual Indie Fox? She's like, yeah, I'm the bitch that got banned. I'm the banned Indie Fox, not this white imposter.
It usually goes to the original. That's gotta be because she's not on Twitch anymore. I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I'm a little curious to see where this goes. John says at least she has her great music. That's right, John.
Yeah, I still remember the indie that went on that speech, I don't want to call it a rant, where she said that she doesn't really want to do this, she'd rather just play music, and look at where we're at now.
Oh, just goes to show you, money talks.
Even fucking Gundam defended her back then. He's like, yeah, this Twitch thing is ruining women's mental health.
Yeah, I mean, she did say that until the paycheck started coming.
Heyo. Ding ding.
Until
ding,
she
ding.
really did the thing she didn't like to do.
Nothing beats that war between her and Amaranth. I mean,
There's a war. Love it.
I guess Amaranth won in the end, huh? They were both doing the same thing, and Indie Fox was the only one that got banned. They
Yeah,
started
she's not
taking off their
sending news
clothes
to
and
Twitch
shoving
devs.
stuff. There was also a certain
Shoving
streamer who
what
said
now?
she had dead eyes.
Who has dead eyes?
Who has dead eyes, Yoji? I wonder who's got the dead eyes. The hot
Probably
tub
Amaranth.
streamers. Did you see the clip of Amaranth saying she gets more viewers when she's asleep on?
That's gotta be such a massive flex.
Oh, they said Indie Fox has dead eyes. She probably does. Most of these girls have dead eyes, dude. Amaranth too.
Yeah, that is also true.
Like they clearly don't. Like they are. I think they are a little dead inside.
Sorry for that. It's more fun.
Oh, they said Indy had dead eyes, and they themselves decided to go to the OnlyFriends route. It's easy to judge. Wait, who are we talking about? Are we talking about Bale? Did Bale say Andy Fox has got dead
It's
eyes?
Bale.
And then
I think it's Bale.
and then Bale started an OnlyFriends account.
Or showing his, yeah. I think it's Bale.
He's offering the
Money's on
boyfriend
Bale.
experience. I heard Bale dresses up in Jorge Jimenez cosplay, then he tells you that he's.
What
a
does
more
Jorge
visual-
Jimenez cosplay look like, though? Do I
He's
just
bringing
put
it
on a
back.
pair of glasses?
Hey, did you hear that the artist for Namor did a literal flex on the chubby actor from the chubby actor who plays Namor?
Oh yes,
No.
that older gentleman. What's his name?
Jorge Jimenez.
No.
Making a
Right now.
Namor movie?
Mike Del Mundo, Praetor. Man, I love having fucking comic dorks in here. I love it. Thank you. Oh, Mike Deodato? All right, which one is it?
Deodato. I think it's Deodato.
Mike Deodato is the writer. Not writer, artist.
I love how everybody's getting it wrong all the time, except for Yoji. All right, from the top. The artist of Namor, who is an older man, goes by the name Deodato, old MD. He posed buck naked and took a shot at the actor who's now
Back of his really well developed back, by the way.
He's a
I'd
buff
say-
back old man.
Yeah, I'd say 8% body fat. You get to
Yeah.
that level of definition.
He's old buck back, and
Old buff back.
yeah.
That's a bad guy from like the Lord of the Flies book. Old buff.
I thought that was a Dick Tracy villain.
Right, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, he did. He flexed on that young man playing Namor because the guy playing Namor, at least in the trailer, he looks a little loose.
Skinny?
A little loose in the mid. No,
Or a-
not skinny. No, not skinny.
or
Opposite of
Or,
skinny.
no,
I haven't
he
looked
was-
at it.
He was. He is not tightened up, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
He's
maybe
really
like-
a creature of underwater.
Yeah, he's got some blubber on him. He's got most of the Marvel gang, even like Paul Rudd in the inevitable shirtless shot. We're dealing like 10% and under body fat. Namor, from what we've seen, looks to be in the 15 or 20%. He's got a little flubber on him. But
Yeah.
Mike Deodato, no flub on that old man. He's got old man
Yeah.
strength.
That's it. I'm into him.
So yeah, he flexed a
And
little.
He public said it, and people jumped down his fucking throat.
Now that sucks. First off,
Yeah.
he's an excellent artist.
Shut up.
Second off, listen, man, it's okay to, man, dude, it's so soft, dude. It's such a soft fucking
It's
mindset.
soft, yeah. It is. It's very two-ply.
His apology was kind of weird. Did you see? I wouldn't have, if I were him. I feel like if any of us were him in this chat, we wouldn't have apologized.
I don't know if did he apologize or did he just kind of did he sidestep? I don't know where he went. You tell me.
Yeah. Can anybody post his quote unquote apology?
I think if anybody had any reason to double down, it would be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no. Oh, I mean, listen, obviously he's taking the piss, right? He's just busting chops.
He's fucking around, yeah.
And he's an old fucking man. And listen, dude, if I was I think he's in his 60s, right? So I'm like, he's not ancient. But you know how fucking hard it is to keep in that kind of shape at that age? Where your body's like,
Yeah.
pack it up. And you're like, no, I'm not packing it up. I'm taking testosterone replacement because why the fuck not? And I'm not giving up.
Like these guys aren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I fucking love that, dude. I would love to have that level of fucking tenacity at that age where he wakes up and his bones hurt and his muscles are sore and the last thing he wants to do on top of his comic book work is go to the fucking gym and push hard, but he does it. So yeah, he took a moment to kind of flex on a young man and just tease him a bit. But by the way, that guy's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. He's handsome. He's just got cast in a fucking giant blockbuster franchise. And he could afford to get his balls busted a little bit by an old man on the internet.
Yep.
God damn it, dude. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. Here, John dropped the link. Just bending the knee. No apologies. Listen, listen. I'm all about apologies when you should, right?
You actually fuck up.
Yeah, when you fuck up and like you really put your foot in your mouth, you say something you shouldn't have, or you hurt somebody close to you, or you do something wrong. Yes, you should apologize. There's a time and a place. But for this, nah.
This ain't one of them.
Yeah. I recently made a joke about the appearance. Dude, I love that this is a. I gotta say, you know what I love about this? It's there's a design aspect to it. Hang on, let me show you guys.
He's fighting some hidden messages.
Yeah, this was
That
designed,
apology.
and it's got
He designed his message.
it's got his signature in it.
Yeah.
It's white font in a nice font. I think it might be Helvetica or Helvetica based font. It's got his logo at the bottom, and it's white on black, which is nice, like a t-shirt. I recently made a joke about the appearance of a comic book character on screen that got out of hand because of internet haters. So let me clarify. I was mocking the comic book character, not the actor. It could be CGI, a Muppet, or a robot there. I was targeting a fictional, I think he spelled fiction wrong, a fictional character in a movie. He spelled character wrong too. Not a person in real life.
He's an artist, not a writer. Come on.
All right. I had no idea who was the actor, nor his ethnicity.
I get what he's saying. It wasn't pointed towards the actor and calling him chubby. He was saying, hey, this Namor guy looks a little chubby for chubbier than he should.
It wouldn't change a thing for me, even if he was from Brazil like myself. Okay. We're giving Diodato a break. English isn't his first language. So the accusations of me being racist. Oh my God, the accusation of me being racist. What the fuck?
Because that's the first one that they got. Like of the bat belt, fucking toolkit that they whip out the first. It's always
what
racist.
the fuck? Oh my God, that took a. I was reading this for the first time. I did not expect that at all. It was not my intention to hurt anyone's feelings, especially the actor in question, who I am sure will do a great job with the character. Diodato, I assure you, you did not hurt this man's feelings. In between him probably getting a fucking BJ from some PA on set, I'm sure he looked at your photo of your bare ass, your bare 60-year-old buff butt, and thought, man, I don't know how I'm going to emotionally recover for this. Here, get off my knob. I've got some crying to do. Please leave my trailer. It was not my intention to hurt anyone's feelings. Back to the drawing board with pants this time. Do you guys think this is a sincere apology? I don't think this is.
I don't think it's serious.
I don't
think
think
it's serious.
I think he's still taking the piss. But I also think people 100% were saying horrible things about him.
These people are fucking nuts.
It doesn't matter to them. They still throw Stanley's name in the mud. That's a hop, skip, and a jump. Well, it goes, you're a misogynist, you're a Nazi, and then you're just evil. Yeah, no, English is his second language. He's Brazilian. Wait, he's accused of... Yeah, that's what they accused him of, man. He's 100% taking the piss. It's a non-apology. Who cares? The world is in chaos and burning to the ground, right? People are melting from all kinds of drought and famine, and we've got corporations that are trying to push us into the age of what's that called? Where the age around the Industrial Revolution that involved the company store, right? We've got not to go full conspiracy theory here, but listen, man, between giant mega corporations pushing every small owned business, and then you tie that to what the pandemic shenanigans led to, which basically made it nigh impossible for lots and lots and lots of countless small businesses. So it ended up shutting up till we get it to a place where you could basically only work for mega corporations, who were then turning around and buying land up in mass, who you know, are eventually going to make it so that you can't ever buy property. You're just going to live perpetually or renting, indebted to your modern day slave masters. Anyway, but in the middle of all this, Diodato took his shirt off and made a joke. God forbid. Nonsense people.
I mean, in these past 2 years, there are quite a few conspiracy theories that came out to be at least half truths. So I don't think going down a conspiracy theory hole warrants an apology. Because even Russell Brand, that lovable maniac, was on Andrew Schultz's podcast, and he talked about pretty much the same. It's like, it's not left versus right, it's us against the corporations that are trying to take away your freedom of sustaining yourself independently.
Yeah, no,
they
man.
want you to not own anything and basically live all your life on the rent.
Yeah. They want you indebted and underfoot, not questioning anything, just...
Don't ask questions, just consume product and get excited for the next product, basically. Oh, I know someone who is just like that, and especially about this new Lord of the Rings show.
There's...
Saying about Lord of the Rings show.
I mean, listen, man.
I better not say anything. I like the show.
I watched the first episode of Lord of the Rings. It was a little slow. I heard the second one slow too. I'm not ready to count it out entirely, but I will say the Lord of the Rings show makes the House of the Dragon look like a grand old time. I did say this about House of the Dragon. You forgot. I was worried going in that Game of Thrones... not only had it lost its way, which it 100% did, but I realized that it was going to continue on that path, that trajectory where, what you got isn't really what it was, and it was going to be kind of half-assed. But then you watch that first episode, small spoiler alert, and they're basically gutting that woman open against her will as she shrieks in horror. You're just like,
I don't happen to know of any woman that like being gutted.
Yeah, and then
willfully.
And then they're interspersing that with knights at the tourney just getting their skulls exploded on the quote battlefield. Just like getting guys, just bones being breaking, people just getting stabbed to death and cut open, and losing limbs, and it's just this gory, horrific nightmare. And then fast forward, of course, one of them is at the whorehouse. Titties out, you're seeing butt, you're seeing shaft. You're just like, yes, I didn't know I missed this, but I did. Welcome back, Game of Thrones. So I mean, listen,
here's a couple of things I don't like.
Break it down.
Just right at the offset. I don't like that there isn't an immediate sort of understand. Like you said this before when I brought it up. You're like, oh, it's kind of a slow burn, similar to the first one. But within the first episode of the original series, I cared about those characters. I understood their moral standing. I understood who the bad guys are. I understood the conflict, even if it's the White Walkers soon. The oncoming of the White Walkers. That's the eventual doom that's coming. But I also understood, okay, these are the Lannisters, and these guys are jerks.
Right.
I don't get any of that from any of these people.
Oh, I see
so
what you're saying.
I'm not as compelled. I'm not saying it's uncompelling. I'm just saying I'm not as compelled as I was understanding what I thought to be pretty archetypal kind of characters from the first version. But the actors did really a really good job of bringing those characters and adding dimensions to them. I don't think there's any of that.
Do you think that the writers are banking on you having seen the previous series and they're leveraging that as in, oh, they already know who the Lannisters are, so we don't
Oh God, I hope not.
I mean, I
necessarily
hope that's
have
not
to
before,
explain it
because
to
that's
them.
dumb.
No, we're not seeing the vast majority, because
sometimes.
this takes place 200 years before
Way
the
before.
events of that series.
before.
So we're not really seeing anyone from that. Nobody's alive from that age.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but I'm just asking because people know that the Lannisters always pay their debts.
Right. But
they know
no.
that the North are tough guys, and
Yeah,
I
they,
mean-
they can't pull on any of those levers because they don't have access to those characters,
Right.
or even that level of that version of the mythology. What they have are effectively new characters that we haven't seen before, maybe talked about, maybe sort of like, talked about in the background, what have you. But so it's almost like starting over. And to that end, I sat down and watched it with the wife yesterday, and they used the old theme song.
Yeah, they
For the very
that
beginning.
is-
And just like did a version of the opening that was that miniature kind of feel. And
Yeah.
at the very so functionally as a utility, the original opening showed relation to where all these continents are. So when they're jumping back and forth between like Daenerys, like whatever, ready to cross the desert so that she can cross the ocean or whatever the sea that she needs to get into in order to get onto Westeros proper, you can see, oh, that's where it is. That's how far apart those things are. That's where the Great Wall is, whatever it is, right? I'm gonna understand. It actually serves a utilitarian purpose. This new opening, I was like, what am I watching?
You're watching the line of Targaryen blood. That's what each of one of those.
It's so poorly done.
That's
It's
what-
so poorly done.
Yeah, no, they do not. They do not explain that at all. The only reason why I know that is I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Because I had no
Yeah,
fucking
see?
idea. I thought to myself, what am I looking
Lame.
at?
Yeah.
So it was my own curiosity, and then it was like, oh, it's telling you the story of the Targaryen dynasty, but you'd have no fucking idea unless you look that up, which is
Yep. Lame.
not good.
Lame.
It's not great.
My opinion only. It's lame. So, and they use the old theme song. I'm like, I get it. I know why. Like, there's so much opportunity for you to not do that, but you did it anyway. So multiple times, I'm like, okay, and that's really ultimately, if that's the only thing that I could critique about it, that's not much to stand on. But really, I'm like, characters, story, this is not fun. This is not intriguing. This is not engaging, at least for me.
See, I disagree. I'm
With the other one.
I'm intrigued. I'm engaged. I want to see. I want to see the war. I want to see the war transpire. I think they managed to get me curious to see where it goes. I didn't watch the third episode yet, so I'm only 2 episodes in. I might feel differently. So, but like as of right now,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think if you are bought in within the first couple of episodes,
Yeah.
the third episode is not going to lose you. You
Nice.
know, it is I believe it is exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's a lot of the Game of Thrones. I mean, listen, of course I missed the blood, the gore, the tits, all that stuff. The rampant wanton violence. But I also missed a lot of the conversations between characters that were steeped in vague threats, but told through regular conversation. Like everything's almost a double speak. Everything means more than anything surface level. Actually, I missed that intrigue. So like the queen that never was is speaking to Rhaenyra, and there's this kind of bitterness between them. But that hostility, it belies contempt, jealousy, and then on top of that, they both have their own fucking dragons. So like I don't know. I like that. I love that tension. And, so I'm bought in.
On board.
Yeah. In original from the beginning, you were rooting for the Starks and hating Joffrey. We just started season 5. We're powerhousing through the series. Hey, what's up, Rudy? How's Matt? Well, we got Matt Smith's butt. You did. Yes, you did. We first started, I hated Jaime Lannister, but now that we're in season 5, I like him. That's that's the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Well, that's some of the beauty of George R. R. Martin's writing. Is one really cool thing he does is he takes fantasy tropes and he turns them on their head. He makes you root for a person you think you never would, and he shows you that characters that you thought were pieces of garbage weren't, and characters you thought were great weren't that either. Everyone gets a dragon. You get a dragon. You get a dragon. Yeah, well, listen, who knows, right? They might drop the ball too. I do find it interesting that Benioff and Weiss have got nothing to do with the series, to my knowledge.
Yeah. Well, why do you find that interesting, Mike?
Like they fucked it up so bad for themselves that they actually, I don't know if you knew this, but they were going to direct a Star Wars trilogy. It's one of the reasons why Benioff and Weiss rushed. Apparently, George R. R. Martin, HBO themselves, they wanted to do more seasons. I think they got up to 8 seasons, but they want to do like 10. Martin hadn't done the books yet. There was a lot more ground to cover, but Benioff and Weiss, they didn't want that at all. And one of the
That's
reasons,
2 people that you're saying, right?
yeah, David
Because the
Benioff.
way you're making it sounds like Brian Austin Green,
No. David Benioff and I forget what Weiss's first name is, but no, they were a duo. But they got tapped. They got tapped by Lucasfilm by way of Kathleen Kennedy to direct a bunch of Star Wars movies. But so they were all too eager to end Game of Thrones to move on to the next big thing. But in doing so, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by ending Game of Thrones prematurely and without a real plan set in place. They tanked it, as we all know. And, well, in Hollywood, you're only as good as your last movie. So once Game of Thrones, or I guess series in this instance, once they tanked Thrones, that Star Wars contract, well, it wasn't as solid as they thought it was, and it disappeared. So they ended up screwing themselves out of a gig.
So wait, when it tanked because they rushed it, suddenly they were on the outside looking in from the stuff that was supposedly not promised to them, but the thing that they had lined up next.
That's right. They had they had become.
So you think like that was such a black eye.
Yep.
That Star Wars Lucasfilm said no, and that's saying a lot.
I know. That's saying a lot for Star Wars. Yeah, no, they became toxic, box office poison.
And again, that's saying a lot for Star Wars.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, think about it. Those two single-handedly tanked. When Game of Thrones was at its height, you couldn't get away from it. There were board games and T-shirts and people dressing up, and everyone was are you house this, house that. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was a cultural touchstone. It was part of the zeitgeist. And then it ended so poorly. It was as if it never happened. People just...
Sure, that's a great point. Great point.
Let's see, you know what character type I really missed? The Hound. Those boys fucked up. They built so much ill will from the Game of Thrones ending. The Hound was really cool. Other studios wouldn't take them. Parents naming their kids Arya. Parents naming their kid Daenerys. It's almost like they went to like a genie and wished it to be gone.
Yeah.
I wish this never happened. Wish granted.
Wish granted.
Game of Thrones ended so bitterly. I hesitate to draw Game of Thrones characters now. Yeah, no, it was really. I mean, from kind of from a cultural, like anthropological standpoint, kind of fascinating how like that could happen. Because you can't imagine that happening with like Harry Potter or something franchise, Star Wars, just people just hating it, even with all the flubs, even with Disney, messing up so much of the Star Wars mythology and really alienating its wide audience. People still have a love of the original series. People still love Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and hold those series still near and dear. But man, so just imagine imagine how hard you have to screw up in order for that to happen. It's wild.
Imagine. I'm laughing at the weird irony of Star Wars is the people that said, "Oh, you fucked that up so bad, get out of here."
Yeah. Hey, you all. Thank you for the subscription, YouTube subscription. Yeah, you screwed up so bad. Star Wars said, "Thank you, no, thank you."
Star Wars did that.
Oh boy.
Do you think they were both of those guys, Brian Austin and Green? Do you think they were like, "Fuck, Star Wars did that"?
Yeah, Star Wars just told you no, thank you. Woof. They got handed their Rian Johnson papers. Did you know Rian Johnson still swears he's going to do a Star Wars trilogy?
Sure. So am I. If we're gonna fucking talk in fantasy too.
Yeah, he recently did an interview. I think it was with either the Hollywood Reporter or Vanity Fair. They did a little, And this is what Rian Johnson's up to these days. And he's like, he's like Star Wars and I. He's like Lucasfilm and I. We're 100% eventually going to work together again. We just need to. The timing needs to be right because I've got to do all this other work. Yada yada yada. People are of course calling bullshit, saying that it's nonsense. He's just talking out of his ass. It's never gonna happen. The mismanagement of Star Wars. It's still shocking.
Sense.
How they just went in there with no game plan, and then the more you find out is the more you hear that Lucas had a game plan.
He did?
Yeah.
What was the game plan?
So Lucas had a outline for the next and final 3 films of the Skywalker trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And Lucas purchased it from him. And then they
Disney purchased it from him.
Yeah, sorry. Disney purchased it from Lucasfilm. From him via Lucasfilm when they bought Lucasfilm. And they did absolutely nothing with it. They basically chucked it. And it was apparently going to be about the midichlorians. He wanted to dive deeper into Jedi lore, the breakdown of what the midichlorians are, what the what these Force beings are.
He was gonna explain magic.
Yeah, he was gonna dig deeper into the Force, but I guess Disney didn't want any of that, so they said thank you, no thank you, George. Good luck. See you around. Hey, what's up, Matt?
I get it.
What's
How's
up,
it, Matt?
guys?
We're talking about how Disney screwed
Hey,
George
what was that
Lucas.
thing that happened to you the other day? You were stuck in a storm with no Wi-Fi. Is that what it was?
Turns out somebody hit a pole and took out the entire, whatever they hit, took out the entire internet for the area from
That
Xfinity.
suck.
Hey, dude, doesn't that
Sorry about that, buddy.
doesn't it suck that here we are, we're like, oh hey, look, we're in the modern age now. We look at all the things we've created. Meanwhile, somebody hits a telephone pole, internet's out.
And and then you hear people who are against the Elon Musk satellite internet too.
Oh right,
It's like
Starlink.
if we could just figure, if we can get Starlink to give 1,000 down and 40 up, you wouldn't have those issues anymore. Sure, you'd have cloudy day issues, though. That's the problem with DirecTV still.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're not evolved at all. We're really only just a smidgen away from fucking bashing each other with rocks for food.
Well, yeah. And the other thing, you're like, well, hey, how do we share the internet overseas? And it's like, oh no, we just have cables. You're like, what? Like, oh yeah, we just have we've got cables running underneath
Just
the ocean.
running them through the ocean.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we're just gonna take the wires, put them into water.
That's what
problem
we
solved.
did. That's yeah. No, if anybody was curious about like, oh hey, how do we get information across these? They're literally just fucking wires on the bed of the ocean.
Ones, though. They're
Giant
massive.
wires.
They're fucking huge.
It's
Yeah.
like, hey, let's get an extension cord. Hey, is it plugged in?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Don't
It's
worry,
like
guys.
the biggest, fattest, widest Ethernet wire you've ever seen in your life.
It's okay, guys. I did this method with my Christmas decorations last year. We're good.
Yeah.
I put them under my pool.
Yeah.
Cables.
You gotta ask, whose internet is that you guys are tapping that into? Like, is it coming from the Atlantic to us, or the other way around, or?
Well, like you hear of people like splicing shit at the pole. It's like, if we
Right.
can do that, but we don't have internet that doesn't have to travel underwater. Like
Yeah.
some fucking hillbilly climbs up a pole and splices into it for power or something, yet we can't figure out how to get airborne internet.
I think this is what we have, you know?
One day.
Yeah, one day when we're all already fucking dead. Like, remember the Jetsons? Like the Jetsons thought we'd be in flying bubble cars by now. Fucking, we got Teslas that still crash on autopilot. We're nowhere close.
I heard somewhere that they're like Tesla is like not going to ever get close to the automatic driving, fully automated driving. That's what I heard.
I think they will. I think they will, and then other companies will, and then before you know it, you'll see semi trucks driving. I mean, the idea being like, the problem is people are so focused with like fully autonomous. Like we don't need truckers, and it's like you do realize that like even with a full automated route, you're gonna need somebody still sitting there, right? Like, in order to get a truck to go 1,000 miles on a full automated route, somebody's gonna have to be in that cab marking the check marks. Like, because what happens if something goes wrong where it loses GPS satellite?
Right.
Like, there's always gonna have to be a brain behind the machine until it gets to the point. I mean, but that point we're talking artificial AI, right? Like at a certain point, it goes from being able to read the road to knowing traffic laws and everything. Like, it will grow. It's just, we've had a very large amount of growth in 30 years. And before that, you know, I'm talking technologically wise, as far as like modern day technology. I'm not talking about, hey, we developed sticky grenades in World War II. Like, it's been a relatively small time frame and we've achieved a lot. So
What do you guys
when you
chat?
really think about it.
I wonder what chat thinks. How long before it's just all automated cars on the road?
Yeah, exactly. Wrong Sword has it. Then Skynet comes, and next thing you know, somebody's got to be John Connor, not me. Somebody's got to be Kyle Reese, not Mike.
John Moore says, I've read up on it. It's a geopolitical thing that can't be fixed willy-nilly because those wires cross international waters. We've run out of alien tech to copy. Oh, that's
yeah,
what
I figured that
that's what this
with the
is.
Earth being, like the Earth being flat, it would be easy peasy, right?
Yeah.
Just go with that.
You wouldn't have that much wire if it was
You would
flat.
think.
Shorter piece of string.
That dispels all flat earther rumors. If we didn't have a round Earth, we wouldn't have to run fucking internet through the water.
Flat earthers. Not the flat earthers. Would you
Oh,
could you
God.
guys date a girl if she was like if she checked all your boxes but she just so happened to be a flat earther?
Do I have
Yes,
any
but not for
chance of-
very long.
Yeah, do I have any chance of convincing her she's wrong?
No, there's
Zero chance.
no there's no convincing her. Like she's dead
Yeah.
set.
Dating, no. Using, sure. I couldn't. Can you imagine the conversations? You'd be watching a movie and she'd be like,
I'd
fucking
sidestep the
Interstellar's
conversation.
bullshit, bro. We all know the Earth's flat. And it's like,
Oh God.
What?
Yeah, you're right. No, you're
go
right.
back
That
in
would
your corner.
that would
Come on, you guys are like putting too much. Like, just nod. Like, why do you?
Oh, I can't.
Why do
no,
you
I
feel
can't.
the need?
She'd better check every fucking mark
Yeah.
at that point. If I'm subjugated to nodding every time she talks.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you say, honey.
That's 75. That's 75% of my marriage.
You know, John Moore asked a good question. How hot is this? Like, you've got to, if like, for me to even like talk to you, you've got to have some, like, if we're in the middle of a conversation, you're like, yeah,
As in
and
flat,
the
like
Earth
for
is
you to
flat.
talk to them if they're a flat earther, you're like, oh, I got it.
Like, you got to be paying me or
Because
something.
that's
I
gonna
can't
be
deal with that shit.
that's a rough conversation when like somebody's really because
You guys
I've,
put,
I've never seen a flat earther, at least on the internet, so take this with a grain of salt, but who wasn't really gung-ho about being a flat earther. Like, they're not,
I've
to my
been
experience.
in a room with like gorgeous CrossFit athletes who only talk gorgeous. CrossFit.
Yeah, but could you
It's the
imagine
same thing.
you're in a
It's the
fucking
same thing.
museum and like you go past like a globe they're selling at the gift shop and she's just like,
Yeah.
look at this bullshit propaganda, huh?
Oh boy.
It's like,
You know,
what?
I mean, I'll be honest, that's a little embarrassing, right? Like
What's that?
taking
If
that
she's
girl,
arguing with the shopkeep about the earth being round,
Right,
yeah,
like-
you gotta like blackjack her and
like
run the fuck
taking
away.
like taking that lady home to like meet your parents, and then
You guys assume that that's immediately going to be the thing that comes up during the
Oh, it will.
conversation.
It's gonna find a
Here's
way.
my mom. Here's
Flat
my
Earth- a
dad.
flat
Did you know
earther
you guys are
cannot remain
living on a?
quiet.
yeah, it's gonna come up, man.
Your parent would be like, did you hear about the meteor shower? And she's like, you mean on this flat Earth of ours? It's like, God
Yeah.
damn it, you had to talk. We could have just talked about Beanie Babies.
Hey,
Skull
Skullbash Hero. Mike's saying
Lion.
flat earthers are the vegans of the geography world. Guys, what you were just
Speaking of flat earthers, there's one right there. Oh, no, get in here. Talk about your
Skullbash knows
religion.
that the
Skullbash
earth is
a
flat.
earther?
Skullbash would never believe the white man's lies that the earth is round, right, Skullbash?
Everything
Look,
that the
I
white man
agree
has
with that.
told
I'm
him, he
just saying.
questions 3 times.
Yeah.
Don't believe the white man. Believe the Native Americans who, at that point, knew better that it wasn't fucking flat.
The Mayans were in on it, even way back then.
Yeah, the Mayans who couldn't calculate a date from, you know what I'm saying?
Waka,
2012.
waka,
We'll forget about that.
There's a ratio of hot to crazy that matters. Elizabeth Olsen, flat earther, I'd allow it.
This is John talking now, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen is like hot, but she's not fucking having to deal with some kook talking about the flat Earth every day hot.
She's
can
married,
you
I think,
imagine
that lady.
You
Elizabeth
wake
Olsen.
up to her speaking
That's not the
about
point
flat
John's
Earth.
trying to make. John is like madly in love with that, ensorcelled with that woman.
Do you think John
Oh, man.
likes Elizabeth Olsen because of her
She
pale
looks
skin?
like the twins. The answer is yes, yes, because she looks like her older
She
sister.
doesn't. She's prettier than the other two bony
No.
bitches.
I
She's
see,
better looking than the other two.
I think it's her skin that John likes. Like fucking
He
like,
wants to wear
like Filipino Buffalo Bill.
Alabaster. Nah.
He wants her to
You
put
like
the
her
lotion in the
because
bag.
she's a flat earther. You know, that Elizabeth Olsen, not a great actress, marginally attractive, but as soon as I found out she didn't agree with the round earth theory, boy was I 12 o'clock, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
The round earth lie.
The round earth like conspiracy.
What's the question? Skullbash, could you date a woman that was a flat earther?
Like hot.
Well, yeah, she'd have to hit every one of your check marks except she's a kook.
I saw a dude on Facebook posting about how he was on
These
a
guys
dating
are
site.
harsh. These guys are harsh. Oh no.
He was on a
Yeah,
dating
I'm
site.
harsh on flat earthers. I'm harsh on people that deny the Holocaust too. What's the point?
Well, somebody's not
One of
getting
those
along.
things happened.
One of them, well, both of them. You've gone all in on the flat Earth, haven't you? Next thing we know, he's going
One
to be
of
talking
those
about
things.
Scientology and shit.
Oh god damn it.
I like her because she can handle her hot sauce. Yeah, John likes that in a woman because his semen is notoriously piping hot.
Ah.
And when it comes out, it's boiling.
Yeah,
It's like a fucking, it's
yeah.
like a volcano eruption. Remember that movie Dante's
What
Peak
is
where
the-
the water boiled?
Yeah.
what do you call it? The measuring of hotness. Again, they have it on.
Yeah,
They have it on that show.
Oh, John's cock is 1,000 Scoville scale.
Scoville. That's it. 1,000.
Yeah, he's got
Hotter
a
than a jalapeno.
It's hot.
John's
It's hotter
got a,
than a ghost pepper.
yeah. John's
As a matter of fact, that's what he calls it.
on the side of his
Ghost Pepper
shaft. He's
3.0.
got a little nuclear bomb just tattooed on there, so you
3 of
know.
them.
Hold on, guys. I got some chicks on Tinder that want some of the ghost pepper dick. Give me a sec.
Yeah, no, that's why John always has a glass of cold milk ready. The
Oh my
Manila
God,
Reaper, they call me.
That's a lot of process to have sex. Hold on, let me get the cold glass of milk for after. What
Yeah.
do you mean? You'll see.
It's 2 seconds of glug glug and then some milk swallowing and so on and so forth.
Come on, the glug glug.
More
It just
importantly,
immediately hardens when it hits cold temperature.
after every flat Earth conversation, does she put out? You might find yourself brainwashed real fast.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like,
Right, you're hitting it from
you
behind.
you
She's like,
have
"Say
to
it's flat."
Everything but my ass in this world is flat, isn't it? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever you say, baby.
You got it. I'm having fun, I think. I'll just stop thinking right now.
It doesn't hurt as long as I don't think.
You're at dinner and she's like, I made you a beautiful dinner. And you come home from work. You're like, wow, this is really good looking, sweetie. And she sits down, takes a sip of her wine, and then goes, Fucking round earthers, am I right?
Oh boy.
That would ruin my
Just keep
dinner.
eating.
Yeah.
But
Just-
then it's like, did she poison me? Because if she's brazen enough to, as soon as I get home and take off my work boots, to go fucking round earthers, like she's been thinking about that all day. Because then you got to worry about that.
She would not poison you because she needs somebody to talk to. You're the person. that
Oh,
they chose.
nobody else will talk to the flat earther.
Well, nobody else that isn't on Reddit.
Oh, okay.
More. Let's see. Manila Reaper. This isn't milk. You guys are dumb. This is a dumb conversation. My problem would be that I'd have trouble not laughing when she brought it up. That's how you get stabbed in your sleep, friend.
Who said that
Yeah,
this is a dumb conversation? Are you not?
Exactly.
You're in the dumb
Exactly.
conversation stream.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's the thing, right? Well, like, what if one day you're watching like Wall-E and you see the planet like circular,
Eva.
and she starts going off, and like you can't like, how do you just sit there and take her talking like you're watching anything with space travel, and she's like, this is such bullshit, I don't want to watch this. Like, do you think flat earthers like watching space movies? Or
Oh, you mean like-
I think they have to do more tongue biting than I ever would, in as far as like what's out there right now.
Oh, you think they're watching like Interstellar, just fucking clench fist?
like that's
Just
the thing, right?
like
Let's say
vibrating.
a new movie comes out that's got space travel. Like, one of my favorite movies is Event Horizon. Is this cuckoo
Yeah.
bird not going to want to watch Event Horizon because the Earth's round in it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
full
think she's
package.
gonna say this is a great science fiction movie.
Well, Event Horizon is incredibly accurate.
But that's how
I
they'll,
thought
that's how
we
they'll
were-
see it. It's just science fiction.
Skullbash says, I thought we were talking about sex only. Okay. Jesus, see where his
Of
mind's
course,
at.
you would fucking think that.
She's over here
Jesus
like, I'll
Christ!
use and I'll abuse her, but I ain't gonna listen.
This fucking guy is just thinking about sex.
Hey,
all
you
the
know
time.
what? That's
Miss-
realistically, he heard Flat Earther, and he understands that's the only valuable thing they could possibly offer.
He knew the fucking mission. Of the...
He knew that if he's gonna have to sit through fucking some person talking about Flat Earth, he better be getting some reward. Otherwise, why is this crazy person in my home?
Do you think Skullbash has ever broken up with a woman because of her skin color?
Oof, that's
think
an
so.
entirely different direction.
I imagine one day Skullbash was just like, I can't deal with this white nonsense anymore. I'm fucking out of here. And then he just never
Or
came back.
non-white nonsense. Do you
Listen,
like the? Do you think
I'm
maybe
so-
that there's a preference?
As a spouse of a vanilla face, I understand it.
Do you think? Well, do you think it maybe happened multiple different times, different ethnicities? I can't
No,
do
all at the same time, but different. He's draped. He's draped in a white woman blanket. You know what I mean? Like a bunch
Oh.
of white women.
Oh, I
Skullbash
see.
is just walking. He's like on Tinder, and he's like, ugh, white, ugh, black, been there. Like, he's just like the
Oh,
whole
just every
terrible
race.
person.
Every
Now
race is
Tinder,
getting
the
it.
local mall.
Yeah, he's like, hey, Indian, I haven't had that flavor yet. Ugh, Hispanic. Like, every time he swipes right, he's just mad
Oh, I
they're a
see.
different race.
Oh, like what? It's like I see. Like when you've had pizza the day before and you just don't want it again. You're like, ah, I had
yeah,
pizza
like you don't
yesterday.
want, you don't necessarily want tacos for lunch and dinner, like, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I would, but
I knew he's doing
Confirm,
that.
deny. Confirm, deny, Skullbash.
I woke up in the middle of the night and thought I was being haunted.
what? Was it by a vanilla
Doctor
face?
Who's them. Just leaves and never comes back. Skull completing the Pokédex of ethnic conquests.
Gotta catch them all.
Deny it all. It's like, I've never had me some Scandinavian coochie.
I've never.
Why do
tasted
you say the
Pacific
words that I
Island
know?
flavor.
I know the word, but when you say it, it's fucking gross.
Coochie?
It's the concept.
Yeah.
It's the context.
You just said glug glug earlier. Like,
That's a new one.
Yeah, glug glug.
I would have rated you. I didn't know you were live, and I didn't pay attention to that. I'm so bad.
It's okay, buddy. Glug glug is the
Like my-
famous Star Wars Ewok song that they sing at the end of.
it's
Return.
something else, Mike.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. As he
Wait,
as he
boys.
just helicopters in his bedroom. Yeah, what group are you in that you're talking to your boys about your meat being back on the menu?
He always,
What's
you know,
wrong
he
with
just calls up his group chat of boys right before he starts clapping those cheeks. And I imagine
Well, you
while,
see-
while he's doing it, he's doing a Jean-Claude Van Damme buck naked split.
This is suboptimal being in here. right now.
See, we were in the middle of a circle jerk, and I just happened to mention that it was back on the market. It wasn't gay or nothing.
It's at market value, like
Ooh.
lobster.
Lobster. I don't know if you want
worse
to
than glug
you
glug.
want to
This
compare
is
your
way worse than
manhood
glug
to
glug.
something that smells like fish, though. It's like lobster, huh? Crabs.
He's talking to his sperm when he says that.
Oof.
It's because his sperm are thick enough. They sing
Talk back.
like little fish.
It's the
Like the
worst
Little
Disney
Mermaid.
movie ever made. Oh, is that like after he drops him on the floor?
Right when he
you
ejaculates
do this,
inside of a
Father?
woman, his fishy sperm starts singing in the vein of "Kiss the Girl" from The Little
That is
Mermaid.
graphic. That is
Or Under the Sea.
Roll out, auto semen.
His semen are just gooey Autobots.
Can I sign up to have that superpower? I would love to shoot mini Optimus Primes out of me. Fucking, I'm tired of standing in this line. Roll out, Autobots! Hey, it's
We're here to
Bumblebee.
find the
Gooey
Allspark.
Gooey Autobots. You're so
Well, then-
fucking stupid.
Gooey Autobots.
Oh shit, guys, hide!
Guys, hide. Somebody's gonna get pregnant.
Everybody
You're
hide.
so fucking stupid. What the fuck is Gooey Autobots? I'm still angry at that.
Oh boy.
It's gonna take Bono about 20 minutes to get his mic working, but between now and then, I'm gonna fucking berate you for saying gooey Autobots.
I think
Dude, that's the revolution of warfare right there. A bunch of soldiers just start beating off to shoot Autobots out of their dicks on an open field.
Hey, Skullbash, can you hear us?
Check.
Hey, there
There
he
you are.
is. Did any of that get you to laugh, or were you just mad the whole time?
Were you mad the entire time you had to walk in here and defend your honor?
Nah, I was giggling.
Excellent.
Have you ever guffawed at anything that Mike has said?
Guffawed?
As in, like, laughed out loud, as in, clutched your stomach because it was so good. Because I laugh, but I think it's
Yeah,
because
it usually
he's
happens
so
when I'm
dumb.
away.
Like, he's really dumb.
You know, it's
Yeah, it has to be at like Mike at its best is when it just comes out of nowhere
Yeah.
and you're just like, holy shit, yeah, that's a good one.
oh,
I don't even think he's aware how good that is.
Gooey Autobots, jizzle out.
oh man,
That one's good.
it's
They
alright.
each make like a little water drop sound.
Bloop bloop.
Did somebody leave a faucet open? No, it's my mini gooey Autobots.
How
Oh
dare
shit,
you?
lunchtime. I'll be back later.
Later, buddy.
Bye.
All right.
Oh.
See ya.
Lunch. I wonder what he got for lunch. We'll never know.
Glug.
Glug glug.
Ew.
What,
He eats his own product.
you know, one time
It happens.
my cum got in my own mouth. I think I was making out with a girl after the fact. And I didn't like put two and two together. Dude, I almost barfed.
Really?
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, she almost barfed.
It wasn't like it was the consistency. I remember thinking like it was like boogers. That's where my mind went.
Oh,
Your reaction to that was like, oh, I find it delicious. Like, really? Like
What?
Like somebody said they didn't like pizza. Did you hear his tonal? He was just like, really?
I mean, it's happened. I didn't
He's
like.
got a whole collection
gag.
of jars. I knew a girl in high school who was like, have you ever tasted?
John said Mike's got booger cum.
Oof. Oof. That's. Was it good? Did you like the flavor? Was
Ugh.
the flavor okay? Was it just too slimy like a booger?
It was slimy like a booger. I think.
She liked it more than I did, at least.
Mike took a proper taste test.
Ugh.
Yeah,
No, I got the whole load pretty much.
Oh,
How did you-
oh.
All right, now you gotta explain how the
Oh.
whole thing ended up in your mouth.
Cause she,
She snowballed you?
no, when she was on top, when she rolled out and I caved, she was jerking me off, and then it just shot straight into my mouth because of the
Oh.
positioning.
Yeesh.
No. No.
Yeah, I'm out.
I was
glad it
like,
wasn't
oh
that.
shit.
No.
A girl I knew in high school said that men should taste their own product if they expect women to.
But she then did like something that was just amazing after, and it amped up the nastiness.
You could say it
Look,
here. She
look.
milked your prostate. We all get it.
None. No, no one near my taint.
Nobody
that's
milks.
That's the man's G spot, you know.
Nobody's milk skull bash.
That's what they hear.
Nobody milks Skull Bash except Skull Bash.
Exactly.
That's what he says. That's what he
He's his own
says.
farmer. Yeah, I can't say I've had any of that experience. I can say I've tried very hard at times to keep it away from the face. It's almost like when you're doing paintball. You never want to get hit in the face.
Yeah, no,
Like, you mean her face or your face?
yeah,
Your
this-
face. You want to keep that Autobot goo as far away from your face as possible.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
But this was like point blank.
yeah.
You should have had
I-
one of those COVID plastic face shields.
Oh man.
He's 100% right.
Foresight. Stop saying Q.
Oh man, I'm sorry, but I didn't say goo so many times. I said goo like 3 times. It was like goo, goo, goo.
Goo, 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 goo.
I mean, it is goo.
Wait, John doesn't call it his goo. What's he call it? His man goo? His man batter?
What is it? Spunk?
He calls
How did
it.
I know you were
Oh,
gonna say
you know,
spunk?
he called. I thought he called it
Fuck.
daddy's juice.
That was Michael Jackson. It was Jesus juice.
It's the amore sauce.
I had a
Yeah.
buddy
Oh.
of mine called Sex Schniz the other day. He was like, I gotta get off the podcast early because I'm trying to get some schniz from the wife. And I was like, are you a 1993 skateboarder? Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? Where did
schniz?
that word come from?
Daddy's juice is so gross.
He's got a bottle in the fridge labeled Daddy's Juice, do not touch.
Disgusting, dude.
Oh man, I'm
it's
trying to eat my
technically
lunch
correct.
too.
Nasty.
You know,
It's too
those are
nasty,
all your
man.
potential children in those jars there, Skullbash. I know you you
Boy.
collect jars of your own Autobot goo.
That's not sanitary.
I've tried it. Lots of bacteria grows.
Oh boy, not on my watch.
Not on my watch.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Why do you collect those bottles, Skull? Wrong.
How
sort
did,
of
wait,
person.
what?
They're collectibles.
It's like Beanie Babies from McDonald's in the 90s. Gotta get them all, man.
You gotta stuff them in the freezer so that I'm not able to actively do it.
Little do we know he's talking about the women after.
Oh god.
They stay fresh longer, just
Get
like batteries.
get me a bottle of DJ.
Mm. It's almost as bad as the pink sauce that woman was selling on TikTok.
Oh, guys, did you hear about the pink
Oh,
sauce?
What?
It's
Oh,
it's,
man. It's
oh god, it's
disgusting.
such a good story though. It's such a good story.
Alright.
You haven't heard about it?
Nope.
All right, so
I
this
don't-
woman just like makes this pink sauce in her house, right? And nobody knows what the fuck it is. And people start ordering it because this chick is on TikTok, like she's going to chicken places and restaurants and like bringing her own bottle of fucking pink sauce. And so people are like, okay, I want to try it. So they start buying it. And then like the caloric content on it's way off because the way the math they use, like the bottle's like 3,000 calories.
You know, it's weird.
On top of it, it was shipped to people not in proper packaging. So like they received their orders where through shipping the bottle was damaged and like sprayed all over the box.
Yeah.
And like people posted TikToks where they're just like, this smells awful. And then they basically were like, people were like, have you gotten it through to the, what's the organization that?
The
tests,
FDA.
Yeah, the FDA. And she's like, my product's not the health product, so I don't need to go through the testing.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, she's like, I'm not selling medicine. I don't need to go to the FDA. And yeah, no. And she didn't want to put
People
her,
have
she didn't want to
said
put her ingredients on it because she didn't want people to know what was in it.
People have said that it smelled like ranch dressing, but they were afraid to taste it.
I completely saw that going the other way. I thought it was gonna be like, you said pink sauce. I thought it was like her period blood or something. That
Oh
people
my
bought.
god. No,
No,
it was
sir.
just poorly made sauce that wasn't like, it wasn't regulated because there were different. Apparently, like, you know, like if you buy a bottle of Heinz ketchup, and I do here in New York, we get the same bottle, same color. There,
Yeah, that plastic one she had.
yeah, she had all of the pink sauces were different color variations, different shades of pink.
Yeah.
So like there was no, it was just all over the place.
She was selling them like nationwide, or like it's like a local at a.
No, she was on TikTok selling it. Like
Yeah.
all of her, like her whole small business was TikTok based, and she'd give her information, and then they'd order from her.
Really gross,
And then
man.
like in her interview when people were basically like, "Yo, you're trying to kill people, aren't you?" She's like, "My son has food allergies. That's why I made this in the first place." And it's like,
Wait, but there's like
With the
egg and
ingredients
like
on.
milk in there?
well, it's dried milk. But that's the thing is nobody knows what the fuck's in there, right? Because like,
Right.
for one thing, it's a Heinz ketchup bottle. It's pink, and it's the consistency of like watery mayo. It's not even the consistency. Like if you look at her like use it, it's a kind of a liquidy consistent. It's just I'm good.
She's got to be a
That's-
flat
probably a
earther.
flat earther.
Isn't that illegal? In
To sell
'cause I used to
poison?
work in the.
Yeah.
Well, when I used to work for a juice label, we'd have to make sure the ingredients are there, and then not only that the FDA, well, not necessarily FDA, but there was an organization you have to go through to make sure that to validate the ingredients in there because it's being sold to consumers
Right.
because
Yeah.
your ass gets sued.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
If-
we definitely have that. You can't sell a food product on the market without having FDA approval.
Right. But she didn't do that.
And that's why you'll see like if there's a prescription or like a vitamin, it'll say FDA not approved because certain things they don't have to put through the FDA approval.
Yeah. So like supplements at GNC don't have to go through FDA approval. It's a loophole, so they can put whatever the hell they want in there. And they've actually found some pretty shady stuff in various supplements.
The fun fact: the FDA approval certification costs around $250,000.
You.
Oh.
Oof.
Yeah, it's fucking pretty insane. I don't know if it's gone up since the last time we've worked with them.
Well, the woman had another woman respond to her, and this woman actually sells products like legitimately, and she was like, "This is what you have to go through to get one product, greenlit," and went through the steps, and it's like it's clear that the lady selling the pink sauce didn't do any of that.
Great.
Yeah, she's probably made a recipe once, and she's like, "Oh, I could package this."
Well, see, this is a good time to let everyone know that on Nerditude's channel, we're going to be selling red sauce. It's mayo and ketchup.
You'll never figure out the special herbs and spices. Part of
Nope.
its daddy's juice.
Yep.
No.
Daddy's juice mixed with Autobot goo. And the secret ingredient is love.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that can't be replicated.
No, my love, never.
The secret ingredient, the double secret ingredient is adrenochrome.
Yes, and bone marrow from aborted fetuses.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I
that's,
tried to get it out straight. I couldn't.
listen, that's where all the flavor is, Skullbash.
Ask any politician, it's their number one vitamin supplement. Baby spinal column.
I love that. All right.
Isn't adrenochrome like derived from that? Isn't it the whole thing of like, if I remember correctly, adrenochrome is a chemical produced from fear and or anxiety, and like the conspiracy apparently is I don't really remember everything, but that's the whole thing. Is it's supposed to be they scare children to produce the chemical and then take it from their blood or some shit.
Oh my god.
I can't remember the full fucking kooky story. You know what is kind of crazy though? You remember when people used to talk about how like celebrities used to go to these weird dinners that were like cannibalistic in nature, and then they were like, "You fucking cuckoos," and then photos came out.
Well, now we have listen, now we have something to look forward to when we finally make it big. Just cracking open a
adrenochrome
fresh
smoothies.
cracking open a fresh baby, slurping up that adrenochrome like a 7-Eleven Slurpee.
7 secret herbs and spices.
This tastes just like the Colonel always promised us.
Finger looking good. Did you hear that Robert Downey Jr. is taking shit for housing Army Hammer?
Housing him? What, Army Hammer's just hanging out at his house?
Well, you would presume that Robert Downey Jr. has several houses,
Yeah, that's true.
and I think the whole thing is he's letting Army Hammer stay at one of them.
Yeah, so what?
Who's
Dude,
that?
He's the guy that likes to eat ladies. Or
Well, no,
like
but
drink-
that's
What?
the whole thing is like what it would. So he when it first came out, people were like, Army Hammer's a fucking cannibal, and they were like, yeah, so what, bro? And then it's like it came out that he mistreats women, and they're like, what the fuck? And they got all up in arms, and that's what got him canceled. Like, they didn't give a fuck about the cannibal shit.
It's like, eat people? It's like, yeah, but have you seen how handsome he is? It's like, oh,
He
okay.
is devilishly handsome.
Who's that guy?
He was the main star of Lone Ranger.
Oh, right. Right. Yeah. Right.
He was in that one movie
that
that was
movie.
actually pretty good. A Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I didn't see either of those movies.
Okay.
A Man from U.N.C.L.E. is, if you like James Bond movies at all, it's very much a James Bond movie. It's really good.
All right. I got a jet, guys. It's,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's almost 4. I gotta run. You guys are awesome. I'll be back tomorrow. I think because I missed Labor Day. I took off for Labor Day. You know, for labor purposes. Yeah, I'll catch you guys mañana.